What's up? How's it going? And welcome back to the MMA Guru Live. We're back in action answering questions from the chat today, and someone's already here, and his name is Michael K. And it's Juru, his first message, even though I'm not Jewish. Thank you for naming me Juru despite me not being ethnically Jewish. I appreciate you. Happy Hanukkah, Juru, again. A holiday I do not celebrate as I am not a member of the Jewish community, but thank you once again for instilling that information on me right now. Ganga is the next thing that we have in my chat. Off to a blazing start with the MMA questions that we have. So glad that we're all taking this seriously. Guru, can you shart for me? Okay. Let's not talk too much about MMA, guys. You know, it's only the MMA Guru Live. You know what I'm saying? What's the next question going to be? Hello. Wow. If Aldo fought Poirier at 145 back in the day, who would have won? Aldo. Aldo at 45 back in the day, obviously. Over Poirier. Poirier's improved massively. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely going to go with Aldo back in the day for sure. For sure I would have. Light of a Swifty the Cloud Dark. Thank you, Daniel Myers, for somehow putting letters in a sequence that I will read out. I appreciate that. I don't know what purpose it served, but thank you. Big Pork Lord, what's good? Thank you. That's a new nickname, I guess. There we go. I'm desperately searching for MMA questions. Guru Jones beat Reyes 50-45. Okay. Guru, I just researched your Askren versus Maya reaction. The comments are so salty. Was I saying about how embarrassing it was? But yeah, you know, that's just kind of how it is. You know what I mean? Same thing with my Tuivasa versus Ivanov reaction. I just basically called them morbidly obese for 12 minutes. And it was like one of my most disliked videos ever. But it's just the truth. You know what I mean? They're just out of shape. And that's just how it is. Sometimes someone's got to say it to him. You know what I mean? And now it looks like Taito Ivasa's turned himself around a little bit, okay? Those tits are a little bit less flabby, okay? Izzy versus Yan prediction, I'm going to go with Israel Adesanya by late TKO or decision. I don't think it happens early at all, though. I think it'll be a slow fight, very patient. Israel Adesanya picking at his legs. Jan Blachowicz a little bit too stationary, and he waits for counter shots. That's his entire game, kind of. And Adesanya's not afraid to make a fight boring because the UFC will cover for him and blame it all on Romero if he does. So he'll just sit on the outside, chew up the legs. Blachowicz will get upset about being outstruck and then dive forward towards Adesanya and either be KO'd or never dive forward against Adesanya in the later rounds and lose a decision, in my opinion. So yes, easier to fight Aldo in a 3-rounder or Tony in a 5-rounder. Ooh, Tony in a 5, I guess, nowadays. Aldo in a 3 now is just, you know, even Yan might have trouble there. You know what I mean? So, anything not to fight Aldo in a 3-rounder right now. Tony in a 5-rounder right now after the damage he's taken recently in the, not just the damage CTE-wise, but the damage to his reputation-wise. I'd say I'd take a 5-rounder against Ferg over a 3-rounder against Aldo. 3-round Aldo has only been beaten once by Alexander Volkanovski. More credit there to Mr. Volko. Doesn't get enough. That's what I'll give him. 3-round Aldo. Only time he's ever failed whilst being 3-round Aldo. Other than Moraes. I forgot about Moraes. But that was close anyway. The only guy who's clearly beat him in a 3-rounder was Alexander Volkanovski, and that needs to be mentioned. Guru, who is your featherweight GOAT? Aldo. Still Aldo. He lost to McGregor, I get it. He lost to Volkanovski and Holloway, I get it. But yeah, 10 years. You know what I mean? Well, not 10 years, but you know what I mean? Like a really long time of defenses. But I'd go with, I don't know right now. Let's say no one for right now until someone, and either Holloway gets the belt back and then does something there and maybe we can talk about it, or Volkanovski goes on a bit of a spree, then we can talk about something there. But I was not on board with Joe Rogan just because Holloway beat Aldo twice, deeming Holloway the greatest featherweight of all time immediately after he beat him in the rematch. I thought that was a little bit too far. Let's respect a little bit of legacy. You know what I'm saying? Oliveira versus Gaethje prediction. I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira. Takes him down. Easy submission, in my opinion. But yeah, fucking Justin Gaethje. He's dangerous, and he could crack Oliveira on the chin and KO him, much like others have done before. But, you know, I just feel like I don't know, there's something about that Khabib Gaethje performance. It's somewhat embarrassing, in all honesty, to Gaethje's stock. So I feel like Oliveira will do a similar thing. And if he does do a similar thing that Khabib did, now you've got a bit of an argument that maybe Oliveira is going to be the one to lure Khabib out of retirement. Because if he does that to Gaethje and just picks him up, dunks him and submits him, he could be the champ of the division. And people could argue that he's doing things better than Khabib did anyway, you know what I mean? Because he fought Ferguson, which Khabib did. I'm not saying this is true. I still believe that Khabib is obviously better than Oliveira. But like if Oliveira beats Gaethje quicker than Khabib, let's say first round submission, and then he submits Poirier quicker than Khabib did, and he gets McGregor out of there in the first or second round when Khabib took 4, all of a sudden the UFC is going to start painting a narrative that this is the real badass for the lightweight division, and Khabib did nothing compared to him. I'm just saying that's how it's going to work. I'm not saying I agree with it. Pantoja versus Manel Cape prediction. I'm going to go with Manel Cape. I like Manel Cape. He's pretty good. I watched him outside the UFC as well. He had a fight with Kaya Sakura, TKO'd him out. I like Manel Cape. He lost to Kyoji Horiguchi as well, by the way. But speaking of which, the stoppage in that fight was so weird. I understand that Asakura was hurt beforehand, but like it was a little bit quick for them to jump in there. Like that's a big stakes fight, you know. I know not a lot of people pay attention to Horiguchi versus Asakura, but it's a big deal to them, you know, over in that side of the world. That's like their big UFC championship fight. Like, let's let the guy take a couple of ground and pound shots. But, you know, he was getting beaten up beforehand, so whatever. Dricus du Plessis' next fight. Trevin Giles, Daron win. Either of those two makes sense to me. Maybe a Shamil Gamzatov as well. Also could be mixed in. So, yeah, any of those guys. I think Shamil Gamzatov is a light heavyweight. Am I wrong? I haven't seen him in ages, so I'd like to see him get back in there. And I'm really confused by what he's doing with his career. He is, in fact, a light heavyweight. Yes, I was correct. So that won't be the next fight for Dricus du Plessis. I think we're going to go with a Daron win or a Trevin Giles. Preferably Trevin Giles. That'd be a good fight. But, yeah, we haven't seen Shamil Gamzatov since 2019 November. What is going on? Please book a fight. You are how old? 30 now. You've missed out all of your youth. And now you're straight into your prime, and it's now or never. So that's what he gets for wasting time. But he has had every single fight cancelled in 2021, in April, 1 in August, 1 in November. But whatever, we'll move on. Thoughts on Ryan Garcia's performance last night? He got dropped, but he won because he's like the favorite in boxing. So he's like that he's the star, so he wins. But now there's all these questions. You know what I mean? That's how boxing works. Oh, but the questions. You know what I mean? I don't know. Oh, fuck off, you Khabib hater. Anything to fucking slander Khabib. Oliveira ain't beating anyone worth a shit other than Tony Ferguson. Okay, well, that's just a silly comment. But I'm sorry I offended your Lord and Saviour's reputation. I did say that those were not the thoughts of my own, just what the UFC was going to do if Oliveira did go ahead and have impressive performances. But well done. You're invited to his birthday party now, so yeah, good job, dude. You're in. That's how it works. He's very thankful for you doing that and defending him, good sir. Kattar out, tested positive. It's not true. You're lying to me, and I refuse to believe it's true until I check this page that tells me whether or not it is. And it isn't, and thank God. Why would you ever do something like that? Does Sunsao retire if he loses to Barcelos? Yes, he does. There's argument for Sunsao to retire before he fights Barcelos, in all honesty, so... I would not mind him retiring, losing to Barcelos, because he's had a long career. He's the real BMF. Let's be real. The bantamweight motherfucker that beat the actual BMF. Well, I say actual BMF. The guy with the belt that says BMF on it that doesn't want to fight anyone. That's a challenge to him. Yeah, Sunsao's a beast, so I wouldn't mind if he retires. He has. Listen, you look at the wins that Sunsao has. I think a lot of people in the MMA need to start realizing what legacy they actually have when they consider it. Like, he's a guy who beat TJ Dillashaw. Not many can say that. He's a guy who beat Masvidal at a much lower weight class, being a much smaller guy. So, you know, I feel like he should take some credit for that and just retire. Like, not everyone has to be the dominant champ that takes 2 belts and then 3 belts after that. Like, you beat TJ, you know, you beat Masvidal. Those are some good wins to have. He beat Aljamain Sterling. So if Aljo goes on and does well, that's going to look really good for him as well. So he's got some handy wins. Chimaev said he has a COVID and talking to Chechnyan media without a mask. Thoughts? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Khabib is a GOAT because he is the most dominant. I am also a delusional cunt. Okay. Good, sir. Well, you can't be a GOAT, defend the belt 3 times, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Colby versus Masvidal should have a diss track battle on Tough as a coach's challenge. I don't want to cringe too hard. No, they shouldn't have a diss battle challenge because we're not 12 years of age. But what I would like them to do in like the coach's challenge, I don't know what they could do. There has to be something to bring up some more. It can't just be like drive this digger towards that football and pick it up and put it in the hoop. Like that's not a fun coach's challenge. I need like I don't know. I wish the coach's challenges would just be like a jiu-jitsu match or something, you know, like a wrestling match that they could have together. I know that would favor Colby Covington, but like a one-armed jab match or something a bit more fun. You know what I mean? Like one of their hands is tied behind their backs. The other one has a big boxing glove on it and they're just jabbing each other. Who's got the best jab? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff would be fun to lead up to a fight between them, but they're not going to do that stuff, you know. Arm wrestle, yeah, arm wrestle would be good as well. Arm wrestle, that kind of stuff, you know, that sort of competitive physical stuff. A Sunsao versus Masvidal 2 prediction. A Sunsao versus Masvidal 2. Now, let me think about this. Now, I'm going to go with Masvidal, obviously, by KO. Come on. Guru, your videos are cushy. I appreciate that, good sir. The way to establish yourself as a bantamweight title contender is losing a split decision to a Sunsao. Indeed. Indeed it is. Unless you're Corey Sandhagen, of course. But anyway, the way to establish, I've already read it again. Thank you, Kamaru the GOAT. I wonder if you're Jan the GOAT before. Welcome. Usman versus Whittaker at 185 for a vacant belt. Who wins? Rob? I'm going to go with... Usman versus Whittaker for a vacant belt at 185. No, I'll go obviously Whittaker wins, but no, let's not do that, please. So no more super fights for now. Let's just clear up some divisions first before we start chucking in like different like people into those divisions, because I'm already somewhat upset about Adesanya going up and stopping Teixeira getting a title shot and holding up the light heavyweight division, because I know for a fact he ain't going to be looking to take on the winner of like Rakic versus Santos next. Like that's just a fact. And I don't blame Adesanya for not wanting to do that. Like obviously, if you move up and get the belt, you're going to want the big fights afterwards. But I just think we need to hold back on the super fights and just get the first half of 2021, all the contenders sorted out, and then let's have some good fights. You know what I mean? I don't want to log jam it up with super fights until the end of the year, maybe. Guru, watch the Garcia fight. He probably loses to Haney from what I watched. No, I did watch it. I watched the highlights of it. Yeah, he was losing. Well, he wasn't losing, but he was... There were some moments where he was losing. You know what I mean? Got dropped, as far as I could tell. Got some shots. He looked good as the rounds went on, but, you know, it's boxing, isn't it, man? I don't really care. You know what I mean? So can we move on? It won't take long before we start losing our accents for even mentioning truth-related topics in the live chat. It's over. Accounts, not accents. Okay, cool. That would be a different type of government control. Removing an accent of someone. That'd be very, very, very insidious. Guru, my mum caught me watching. Let's move on from that topic, please. Interesting stuff. That's something I don't even want to get in my... I don't want to even get into that because that's just an absolute can of worms I don't even want to open. Jorge is a sheep among wolves. That's why everyone in the top 5 is calling him out. They know he's the easiest fight in the top 5. Yeah. But at the same time, Masvidal's got some good matchups for himself. If I was him, I would have jumped at the opportunity of a Leon Edwards fight. Why not do that? You know what I mean? Why not? Oh, Google moderator team got Zach Ali's comment there. I watched that happen. They're here. So anyway, we were talking about the yeah, Minecraft. What are we thinking, boys? Should I build my house in sand biome, or you know, what are we saying? Guru, are you looking to crypto considering we'll be going into a cashless society? No, I won't. I don't really care. If everyone knows to do it, you should probably not do it. You know what I mean? I'd like to find something that I realize that no one else knows yet. If someone's like, everyone do this, I'll be like, no, thanks. Because you wouldn't be saying that to help me, because no one wants to help people in this day and age. Okay, you're just trying to make profit here. YouTube handlers are present, indeed. Now, Hetel would KO skinny bitch. Thank you for keeping it clean. I will go with no. He wouldn't really, would he? He'd get leg kicked a couple of times in that tendonless leg, and it'd probably be all over. Thank you. When will they officially select Fighter of the Year? I don't know if they do. I don't even know how it works, to be honest with you. Who are we waiting for? Because it's not the UFC Fighter of the Year. I think it's like the ESPN Fighter of the Year. And they have Davis and Figueiredo at number 1, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. I don't know what we're waiting for right now. But if it's not Davis and Figueiredo, then there's going to be problems, okay? And that's just what we have to say. And there's going to be a riot, and there will be a strongly worded MMA Guru video coming out if that's not the case. For cashless society, get off the grid and grow your own food. That's the Bryce Mitchell technique, brother. Yee-hoo. Thug nasty, bro. When did you start watching UFC? I have no idea. Ages ago, good sir. I have no pinpoint exact moment where I started watching it. And if I did, then I don't know. I'd probably be, I don't even know. I can't remember. I just watched it and paid attention to the title fights. And then eventually, once I started paying attention to the title fights, I actually watched highlight videos before I watched fights, kind of. You know what I mean? So I'd watch a fight highlight of a finish, and then it would take me to the highlight video of the guy, and then I'd watch that. And then I'd be like, oh my God, he fought 3 weeks ago. And then I'd check and see who he beat, and I'd pay attention. But I never really watched fights live for a while after. But I always paid attention to what was happening, like boxing at the same time. You know what I mean? But it's just always on middle of the night, and I was in secondary school, so no way I'm watching that. Imagine ESPN makes Skinny Clow Fighter of the Year. That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting. That's just all I'll say. Thank you. Guru, do you think Burns will take the Mickey against Marty Fake Newsman? No, I don't think he'll take the Mickey, but it sounds like they're getting a little bit heated, to be honest with you. And maybe it's because Burns has been being strung along a little bit by Usman, so he's getting a little bit annoyed. But they don't sound like good friends sometimes when I see these messages that they're sending to each other, you know? Do you have secret meetings with John Podesta? I have no idea who that is. Google moderation team. I don't care. Moving on. Thoughts on Sumadwerji's next fight? Good fight. It's Zaruk Adeshev. He shouldn't be in the UFC. He's, 3-2. He's terrible. Why? So Sumadwerji wins in the first round by TKO. I'm glad, because we need some Tibetan fans representing. But, you know, after this one, give him a ranked opponent. Maybe the winner of Tim Elliott versus Jordan Espinoza or something like that. But yeah, Madwerji is going to KO him, because this is Zaruk Adeshev, and he's 3-1. And he got signed to the UFC when Jake Hadley is 7-0 and beat 2 regional world champions and doesn't get signed. You know what I'm saying? Guru, mate, how can you claim to be a hardcore MMA fan if you don't even know how to properly pronounce Joaquin Buckley's name? I don't know how to properly pronounce, to be honest with you. That's what I failed at first. But thank you for your pointless message that you spammed multiple times for no reason. Appreciate it. Ali KY Cody wants to waste his career trying to fight at 125. His path to the title is easy. KO Aljo's bitch and then KO Aljo. Easy work. I think Cody's got a good chance at the belt at 135 now. When you look at the matchups that are there, I think there's some good matchups for him. You know what I mean? Other than maybe Corey Sandhagen, that's going to be a bit of problems because the range, he's going to get hit, and he can't get hit with that chin of his. So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. But if he can play the slow game and have people respect his power and throw a lot of feints and use his footwork, he can have a good chance against a lot of those guys. I think I like his chances against Yan and Sterling more than I do Sandhagen. You know what I mean? Because Sandhagen just seems... I don't know what happened in the Aljo fight. Well, I know what happened. Aljamain climbed up the cage and got a hook in and got the submission. But it was still a good submission, of course. But he did climb up the cage with his right foot. You can check it right now. But I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I feel like Sandhagen's the most dangerous when I watch him. But then it's obviously not that way. I don't know. Like, I watched Aljo versus Pedro Munoz. It was good, but it's like it doesn't... I don't know. Maybe Moraes is just chinless now at this point, but I don't know. Sandhagen seems pretty good. I think Cody Garbrandt should stay at bantamweight at least for one fight now, and then see if the flyweight championship opens itself up. But I feel like if Askar Askarov beats Joseph Benavidez, we don't even need Cody because we've got Askar Askarov. So I don't know. Like, he fought to a draw with Brandon Moreno, even though he lost the fight very clearly. You could still use that storyline if Moreno wins against Figueiredo in a rematch, or if Figgy wins in a rematch against Moreno. You never know. But I feel like if Askarov beats Joseph Benavidez, then there's no need for Cody to come down because we've got another contender ready to go. So I don't know. And he's dangerous. So yeah. Can Neil Magny take down Woodley like he did to Robbie Lawler? Maybe. Maybe yes. Over time he will, maybe. But I feel like Lawler's just kind of, I don't know. At least in the Colby fight, he threw back at Colby. Like, he took a bunch of shots and he was rolling around like a bit of an idiot, but he threw back at Colby Covington. Like, he tried to grit down and go sometimes. But against Magny, it was just like, okay, 3 head kicks in a row in the last 10 seconds, dude. Like, we're not, this ain't fucking UFC 100 anymore, dude. Some things need to change, you know what I mean? You can't just swing like an idiot and the other guy's going to stand there. It's not how it works. So I feel like Lawler's kind of been left in the dust. I love Robbie Lawler. I think Magny would beat him. Well, no, I think Magny would beat Woodley as well. I think Woodley will lose to a bunch of people. I don't know where his head's going to be at when he comes back with a broken rib, knowing he's lost 3 in a row, his career on the line. Maybe he catches someone with the big punch, but I feel like, I don't know, the combined work of Usman, Burns, and Colby has just left a carcass on the side for any welterweight to come get him. So, I don't know. He could obviously beat some people. I don't mind his chances against Chiesa, even though it's a bad matchup for him. He could land a big shot, and Chiesa has no understanding of hand-eye coordination whatsoever. It's very evident. But Chiesa could just outgrind Woodley against a cage and make him look like a bitch again. So it's interesting stuff with Woodley. We'll see. Guru, can you do a Bruce Buffer announcement for Emerson Biggins, please? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know who that is, and I'm worried about saying it. I don't know. Magny versus Chiesa. I'm going to go with Neil Magny versus Michael Chiesa. I'm going to go if Neil Magny gets the job done. Colby Covington, I'll see you in July. Fighting Magny in January. Kamaruddin Usman smash Rosenstrike. Okay. Interesting. He won't, but okay. But honestly, I don't mind his chances, honestly. Some of these heavyweights, man, tip them over and it's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing sometimes. So I honestly wouldn't mind like even a Colby or Usman chance against, like a Khabib chance against Rosenstrike. Seeing what Overeem was able to do, and Rosenstrike literally just put his knees up, tucked him in, and laid there the entire time when he was on his back. Someone else gets him down with some jiu-jitsu. I mean, you saw what DC was able to do to Derek Lewis. You got that technical advantage in the jits. You can expose some heavyweights, you know. Thank you for the $5, proper 12. I appreciate you, dude. How long does Jorge have to sign the contract? I'm joking, by the way. I think Rosenstrike would beat both of them. I'm just saying it's a possibility because of what we saw. I'm going to clarify some things as we go along because people get a bit antsy. Thank you for the $5, proper 12. I appreciate you, dude. How long does Jorge have to sign the contract until we officially can declare that he is ducking Colby? And also, I'll add on, declare Colby Covington the BMF champion. I'd say that he has a month to sign the contract. I feel like they're waiting for McGregor versus Poirier to happen because if they announce too many fights before a big fight happens, it kind of gets drowned out and there's nothing to talk about, because if you announce Masvidal versus Covington now, we're going to talk about him for a week and then all of the conversation will be about McGregor's comeback. So I feel like they should leave it, wait until McGregor fights Poirier, then announce it afterwards, and then, yeah, give it that bit of time before the Adesanya Blakovic fight, you know, and also get Stipe versus Ngannou 2 announced, because I love Stipe Miocic, but I'm losing my fucking mind about how the heavyweight division. Imagine if Blades beat Lewis in November. Imagine if Blades beat Lewis in November and he's sitting there right now, or wherever it was, December. I don't even know what date it was, but I think it was the end of November. Imagine if Blades beat him. And he would have to sit there until April when it happens. And then who knows, maybe another year if Stipe... there kind of needs to be a slap on Stipe's head. I love Stipe. I loved him. I picked him in every one of his fights, and he's done me so well. And I'll continue to pick him in his fights because I think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. But fucking get in there. It's the middle of December. There ain't no fucking fires that no snow can't put out in Cleveland. So fucking... you ain't needed. Yeah? I'm gonna, if a bin is aflame, I'll give him a call. But like for now, can we just fucking get the thing going? You know what I mean? Wow, did you know Askarov is the underdog against Joe? Yeah. Are we missing something? Well, Askarov's a grappler, and Joseph Benavidez is one of the best grapplers in the flyweight division. So, yeah. I mean, I don't mind him being an underdog there. Askarov hasn't been that impressive. I mean, he's been impressive in his fights, but he's made a lot of them close. Benavidez is a great scrambler. He's not going to get out-grappled by Askarov, so it would leave it on the feet between the pair of them, and Benavidez has got decently good hands, so he could do some stuff. I mean, Askarov's good, but he hasn't separated himself like other guys, you know what I mean? But he's good. I'll probably pick him against Benavidez, because I liked his stand-up in like the Tim Elliott fight. He was just smacking his face off for 3 rounds, and Elliott could do nothing but accept it. So I like that, but... yeah, it's a good matchup for Benavidez, but I'll go with Askarov as an underdog then if he's an underdog, but I don't mind him being one. Who should Jeff Neal fight? Who should Jeff Neal fight? It has to be a top 15 guy coming off an L. No bottom feeders like Price and Perry. How dare you refer Nico Price to the same level as Mike Perry, you silly man. What happened in Perry versus Cerrone? What happened in Price versus Cerrone? Ask yourself some questions. Going to fight someone to justify that ranking? Maybe. I'm going to clear my nose right now. Give me a second. Jeff Neal versus Robbie Lawler? I don't know. Depends how quickly he wants to turn back around, you know. Actually, Joe might be all right. Yeah. He might be all right. He might have just fought Figueiredo and got KO'd, and everyone else can't KO him, and now he'll look really good. So you never know. That's why I think he's the underdog. But yeah, Pantoja Askarov was close indeed. And I thought there was a knockdown, but apparently if you're on one leg, there's no knockdown. Because Pantoja fired a punch at Askarov, and it landed clean on his jaw and sent him straight to the canvas in the third round. But because Askarov was throwing a kick at the same time, it's not a knockdown. Which is just... But Whittaker versus Till, which doesn't even land when Till falls off balance, is still scored a knockdown to this day. But Till's against Whittaker's isn't scored a knockdown in the very same fight, even though he landed a flush elbow on the... I don't know what's going on, but, you know. It was a close fight, but Askarov won it if they don't score that knockdown. I get it. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating it from what I remember, but I seem to have a vivid image of Pantoja landed a crisp, big right hand on Askarov's chin as he throws a leg kick and then him sinking straight towards the canvas. But, you know, interesting stuff. Who would win a rematch at welterweight? Kevin Lee versus Chiesa? I'll go with Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa will win the fight. Kevin Lee's a quitter. It will be a main event, so he'll have 5 rounds. And I feel like Chiesa's he just drained himself so badly at 55. I think he could be a middleweight. Like, he's a massive guy. He's that Chimaev sized, nearly. Obviously not that far of a weight cutter, but yeah, he's a big guy, you know, huge guy. You were like, it's unanimous, it's Pantoja. Wow. Yeah, because I thought he got a knockdown, to be fair. And if he did, he wins the fight. But he didn't, because it was on... Askarov was on one leg at the time, so it gives him So everyone should just hop around the octagon, I guess, because then they can't get knocked down. Seems to make sense. Khabib will not come back. Very interesting. Cody versus Aljo. Who wins? I'll go with Aljo KOing him. I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that one. Ignore that prediction now. I don't know who wins that one. I'll probably go with Aljo, but no, I won't. I'll go with Cody Garbrandt now. I can actually confidently say Cody Garbrandt, I feel like there. That's not a bad prediction to make, and I feel like he'd be an underdog as well, which would be even better. But if he just stays patient, Aljo's not going to KO him, and Aljo's not going to out-grapple him because Cody's really, really good defensively in the grappling. So I feel like Cody could actually beat him. I don't know, though. Did you listen to Darren Till on James English's podcast? Didn't realize how much of a nutter he is. I did. I don't know if it was James English's, but it was this Scottish guy. Yeah, I did watch him on that podcast. He seems quite funny. I like him. Well, it's Darren Till, you know. He's the funniest guy in the UFC right now. He's the only one that genuinely makes me chuckle at stuff that he says. You know? Everyone else gives me like a little, you know, those little sudden exhalations through your nostrils when something happens. That kind of stuff. But Till will make me chuckle a little bit, you know? Were you joking when you said you would outsmart True Geordie in a real fight? He's wham. Okay. I would. I feel like I would. I'd have him in a boxing match. I think someone asked me if I'd have a boxing match with him. Or I don't know what the thing was, but I was considering in a boxing match because he's been doing some boxing. But I reckon I'd have him swinging and have him gassed out. Yeah, I know. I understand enough to not get smacked by an idiot, I feel like, that doesn't know what he's doing. Kind of. I don't know. I feel like I could do it. He'd swing a bit in the first round, and it'd be obviously quite terrifying, but I reckon I could tie up, get him into the second, and just body shot the fuck out of him till he gasses and goes down. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a quite simple one. But, you know, all good. I'd take True Geordie because he sups steroids like you do Pepsi. He sips steroids like you do Pepsi. Fair play. I did see Garcia's boxing match, yes. Yes, indeed. Till I'm the nutter, Darren. Okay, cool. Darren, I make no excuses, but here's me fucking excuses. And here's another one, but I'm not making them. But here's another excuse. And obviously, my knee was fucked, but I don't want to say that because that'll be an excuse. And obviously, he poked me in the eye 5 times, but, you know, I don't make excuses, me mates. You know that. Obviously, mates, me daughter, she died. And, but I don't make excuses, mate, because better man won on the night. And that's it. That's all I'll always say that, mate. Nico Montano would KO Ryan Garcia stiff in boxing. Nice. Back. Could prime Luke Rockhold out leg kick Gyno Sanya? No. Prime people aren't as good as people now. It's unfair to have that argument because they're only as good as the knowledge that is in the world at the time. You know what I mean? Like they're only as good as the coaches of their era, kind of. So it's kind of unfair to always have that argument of who would win, prime this guy versus that guy who's in his prime right now. Everyone right now is better than everyone before, you know? Guru, the first card is shitty except Hallow, Kattar. What do you reckon? The first card is good, man. I like the first card. I don't know where you guys have been, but that first card is looking pretty fucking raunchy to me. I know it's had a lot of fights pulled off the card, but let me check what's on it because there's some raunches. We got Holloway, Kattar, good. Buckley versus Holloway, Kattar, amazing. Main card of pay-per-view, easy feature fight of pay-per-view. So I'm glad it's a fight night main event considering what we've had recently. Holloway versus Kattar, amazing. Buckley versus Alessio Di Chirico, but good because it's Buckley. We get to see what goes on there. Santiago Ponzinibbio's comeback. I've been waiting for that for like 2 fucking years. So yes, I'll take that one. Ponele Soriano versus Dusko Trodorovic, amazing. Now on the main card as well because of the recent fallouts. Sarah Moras is fighting. She's on a bit of a streak right now. So Vanessa Melo. That's a decent fight for a women's fight on a card. I don't mind it. Omari Akhmedov versus Tom Breeze. Good fight as well. We'll see if Tom Breeze can crack the rankings, represent the UK from Birmingham, mate. So we'll see what can be done. It's a good card, man. I like it. You got Nasadina Mavov versus Phil Hawes. How could I forget? The best porn star name in the world. That's a good fight on the prelims. Connor Goat. Okay, did you see Dean Thomas cycled for 2 days straight for a men's depression charity? I did not, but good for him. 2 days straight cycling. I don't know how you could. Was he like people were like bathing him and like people were there helping him, I assume, and like giving him drinks and feeding him a bit on there as well, I imagine. I reckon that can be done. I feel like cycling on a machine is actually, obviously, if he was out and about cycling, it's very difficult. But cycling on a machine is actually pretty. You get into like a momentum where it's almost like you're not even exerting energy. It's like it's almost harder to slow down your cycle, especially when you're on like the bottom setting of a machine, you know. But yeah, I like it. Dean Thomas, what a guy. Amazing stuff. I think he took sleep breaks, actually. Okay, so he didn't cycle for 2 days. See, you make me sound like a hater then. I hate that shit, man. Give me the information as it is. You know what I mean? Don't give me he took sleep breaks. You know what I mean? He covered California's east to west. Fair play. That's a good thing, you know. Did it for charity. Fair play to him. Good stuff, Dean Thomas. I like Dean Thomas, man. I feel like he's underrated personality-wise in MMA. I don't know how you can have Dean Thomas's personality and Woodley's personality and them somehow get along. How does that work? What do they talk about? Because Dean Thomas seems fun and then Woodley would just be like, I can't speak, we aren't in my car or something like that. I don't know how they even conversate as humans because Dean Thomas seems like a nice guy. Darren, I'm definitely going to knock him out of round 1 this time instead of not win a close decision or get finished. Okay, cool. All right. You said Rakic could outkick Gaino Sanya. You said Prime Rockhold arguably has better body kicks than Rakic. So now you say Prime Rockhold has no chance to kick Gaino Sanya. Well, no. Here's what you've very interestingly done, Star Wars fan Halil. You very interestingly said that I said Rakic could outkick Gaino Sanya, which I meant leg kicks, of course. And you said Prime Rockhold arguably has better body kicks. You see what you've done there, Star Wars fan Halil? You've taken something where I've done a very specific type of kick because of how legendary the body kicks of Luke Rockhold used to be, and then you've applied it to all kicks to make it seem like I've lied. See, that's where the difference is, Star Wars fan Halil. I'm talking about kicks in general, and you've singled out a time where I've used the word body before the kick, specifically to describe Luke Rockhold's dangerous body kick that was so amazing. Weird that people do that, but, you know, good stuff. Anyway, tell these Holloway nut huggers how Holloway lost again. I don't know, man. People get angry about that. He lost 3 rounds, man. I don't know how else to say it. He lost 3 rounds. If you don't like the way it scored, I don't know. Just watch Holloway versus Volk 2 back. Not sure how people call it a robbery. What do you think? There's close rounds, but like when you in the moment, I thought, I don't know, but Volkanovski definitely got 3. But it's close. But then when I watch it back and you're counting along with it, and it's obvious that Volkanovski clearly outlanded him so much in round 3, 4, and 5. And people say it like he was getting outlanded, but Holloway was like landing Gaethje shots against Ferguson in the later rounds. When Holloway was like barely touching him with shots, and Volkanovski's outlanding him simply. Double digits sometimes. 3, 4, and 5. I don't know. But, you know. People are in denial, I guess. Khabib at 185 will smash tiramisu. Interesting stuff. React to me, please, man. I'm a bog fan of yours. Please give me a shout out on a very small channel, and I'll get a PC if I hit 1K subs. Please subscribe to me and tell people to do so. This is a lot of things. Thank you, MIF Bunny. I appreciate you, good sir. There you go. Volkanovski, you won. Get over it, indeed. That's a good name, Volkanovski, though. I like it. It's a very cool name. Volko was the bigger man. Yes, of course. Now Holloway fans are claiming weight bully. Holloway fans are now using the excuse that Volkanovski's too big for featherweight. Interesting stuff. Holloway's just too small for these featherweights. He should move down. Now that is an interesting take. Is AJ McKee any good? Yeah, he's good. But, you know, you don't know, though. You don't know, though. Because all of the guys that he's beaten, even though they have good records, who they got those good records against, you know? Are they the UFC top 60, then top 50, then top 40, then top 30, then top 20, and then you get to the rankings? You know what I mean? Because there's a murderer's row there. So I feel like it's not about if a guy could jump over and compete. It's whether or not a guy can run the gauntlet of the UFC rankings in those more stacked divisions the way our guys can. Because they fight absolute cans until they get to an important fight. You know what I mean? Whereas the UFC guys could take on, unless they're Giga Chikadze, they could take on a guy who's, well, Giga Chikadze did it. An undefeated guy on the come-up is like their big test when they get there to the UFC. You know what I mean? Volko won, get over it, okay. Okay, then, could Prime Rockhold outkick Dino Sanya in general? No, he'd get out-leg kicked, in my opinion. Rockhold's too laboursome, I feel like. Adesanya's a bit too light on his feet. But I just like Rockhold's body kick because it's so nice. I loved watching it every single time he threw it. The way he turned it over, slammed it. It was just a thing of beauty, the body kick in general. But leg kick-wise, Adesanya's going to out-leg kick him for sure. It'll be interesting, though. But Rockhold just seems a little bit too sluggish. You know what I mean? Low Holloway is 5'11", indeed. Holloway is a huge guy for 145, I know. Karolina Kowalkiewicz, elite kicks. Okay. Prime Rockhold kills Izzy. He could do, like, he could get the body lock and just slam him down and get it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You know? Jake Ellenberger is a really good grappler, and Kelvin just jumped straight into a rear naked choke on him, and then he can't do it on Adesanya. There's something to be said about that. I don't think we can just say that Adesanya has zero ground game now. But, you know, I reckon Adesanya would catch a Rockhold coming in pretty badly. But, you know, Luke has the ideal MMA body. I don't think he does, though. I don't think he does. I think it's kind of good to be the skinny guy. The skinny guys seems to be a good theme nowadays. And don't worry about having skinny legs, apparently. That seems to be another theme. I remember, it seems weird how in the same time that calf kicks have become so prominent, that skinny-legged fighters seem to be like somehow immune to them. It's weird to me. Like, you got these fighters with massive upper bodies and skinny legs, and surely they should be taken advantage of with that, but oh well. Jan beats Stipe, Izzy, and Thiago Santos in one night, yeah. Ortega, y'all. Okay, cool. Holloway doesn't have power as Volkov. Volkov used to be 240 pounds. No, he didn't used to be 240. He used to be 214 pounds. Joe Rogan misheard him. It's 214 pounds. And he's not that big. That's not that big. If you have big legs and like big hips, you can be 214 pounds at his size. You know? I don't know why we're like, oh, he was obese once. Crazy. I know he's in rugby and that, but, you know, it's not that big. 214 pounds. Not bad. Been watching you too much Joe Rogan. Okay. Your favorite UFC year? This year has been pretty good. Yeah, I say this year. Next year. This year. 2021. Last year was good, though. 2020. Pretty decent. I like the whole vibe of it, you know. Just felt it felt more dangerous this past year, 2020. Dodson is an idiot. Could have dropped back to 125 and KO'd Figueiredo's bitch Joe Benavidez and then fight for the belt against Fig. It would have been a good chance as well, indeed. But he is moronic, and he doesn't want to cut down to 125, even though he's very, very tiny for 135. So that's up to him, dude. But I think he could do some stuff, man. Look at the fight that he had with Demetrius. That was a close one of them. So, yeah. 2020, Chiesa versus Magny. I'm going to go with Neil Magny, a little bit more well-rounded. I feel like they're both going to kind of... I don't know, I was watching Chiesa versus Sanchez, and Chiesa versus Condit, and they weren't easy fights for him, man. I know he had a good fight with RDA, but I feel like that's kind of just a way to beat RDA now. Just out grapple him and be bigger than him, you know? But I don't know. I feel like Chiesa would do well, but he would lose. In a 5-rounder especially, I could see him gassing out in rounds 4 and 5 and Magny starting to put the pace on him. So I'd say like a Magny 4th round TKO, I'd say. Mason Jones will KO Mike Davis. Indeed he will, but we'll see if it happens. Hopefully it does. Who have you got in Ortega versus Volkanovski? I have Brian Ortega. I do. Elliot Bartholomew. What an amazing name. That's one of the best names ever, man. Bartholomew. Nice. I don't know why. I just like that name. My mum, Jan beat Stipe, Izzy, and Thiago Santos in one night. Very interesting. Can't beat Thiago Santos in one night because he's already lost to him. But okay. Interesting use of names to add to that list. Prime Cruz versus Sandhagen. I'm going to go with Corey Sandhagen, chapping at the legs. I feel like everyone who fought Cruz just... I think TJ was like, oh shit, this is all you have to do. As soon as he hit the 3rd round, is just kick the legs a bit. And then it stops things. It's weird how all of these geniuses couldn't figure that out for so long. Just chop that fucking leg as hard as you can a couple of times. And that footwork will slow down. And I feel like not a lot of people did that back in the day. And when they did, they had success. So I'll go Sandhagen, man. I think of Sandhagen as just an evolved Cruz at this point. Cruz is good. I don't know what he's going to try and do if he beats Kaney. I think he might try and get the Dillashaw comeback fight. That would be huge for him. But Dillashaw would have fought by then because he's fighting in March or something. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't know what Cruz is going to do. I hope he doesn't tarnish his leg. Imagine if he loses to Casey Kenny. That's really fucking bad. Yeah. People don't understand how good Jan Blachowicz really... No, we do. We do want... Here's the thing. You're one of those guys. John Smith, you basic name bitch. People don't understand... you're banned, dude. You're banned. Rustam Binyaminov. Don't spam that much. You're out. See you later. We understand how good Jan Blachowicz is. We really do understand, dude. We really understand. We're just not picking him to win a fight. You know? There's 2 people to pick. One's a favorite, and we've picked him. It doesn't mean that we don't understand. It just means that we've made a choice, and we're not disrespecting Jan Blachowicz. We just made a choice to one of them out of the 2. You know what I'm saying? Your Ferguson versus Gaethje live stream's biased as fuck. Yeah, it was. I feel like it was. But I felt like I had to justify myself in that. I noticed that because as I was watching it, I kept looking at my chat and people were saying like Frio Gaethje. I was like, what the fuck are people talking about right now? This could be 2-1. Ferguson could have won the 1st round. So I felt like it got biased towards the end. But yeah, it was a bit biased because I felt like I was speaking up for Ferguson because the commentary would say nothing that Ferguson did the entire time. And my chat was acting like he was getting 4-0'd when it could have been 2-2. So yeah, I felt like I had to stand up for him for a bit. So I don't think it was biased. I think I was the Ferguson representative in the Gaethje fight. The commentary wasn't for some bizarre reason. If EPO was legal, would there be any different champions? Yeah. TJ would still be champ, probably. But I don't know, man. I don't know how many people would do it. I guess Colby would be if Colby got his hands on some EPO, there, and Usman as well, if he isn't already on it, as Colby thinks. Then there would be some real problems in those divisions. But yeah, Walker versus Crute, I'm definitely going to go with Jimmy Crute. Fucking Johnny Walker messing up his career, man. Terrible, terrible decision-making by Johnny Walker. I mean, you can say that about his fight with Nikita Krylov and Corey Anderson, but like in terms of like a management of a career, this is terrible decision-making from Johnny Walker. This is... Why would you do this one? There's Paul Craig and Anthony Smith willing to fight you. Not ducking you and you can't get a fight with them. Calling you out, willing to fight you. Paul Craig, Anthony Smith, either one of those. You choose Jimmy Crute. He'll get KO'd in the 1st round. It's unfortunate, but I'm going to clear my nose again. Give me a second here. Tony can beat smaller guys, put him against Arman. Okay. No, let's not do that at all. Because Arman's fighting Nasrat Akbaras, so no. Walker is coming off the 1st round KO. Johnny is a future champion, eh? Yeah. So is Crute, though. And Crute didn't almost get KO'd before he did his. So, you know. Paul Craig's fighting Smith. Why would they do that? Why would they ever do that? Does anyone understand that? Because isn't the idea to get rid of the older guys? So why are you doing Smith versus Craig and Crute versus Walker. Why not Walker versus Smith or Walker versus Craig and Crute versus Smith? I don't understand why they would match up the young guys together, but the matchmakers don't make any sense. So yeah, it's all good. Colby on EPO versus Usman, indeed. Actually, no, I figured it out yesterday. I'll tell you again. If you weren't here in the live stream yesterday, I figured this out. They're giving Johnny Walker to Jimmy Crute so he can get KO'd. So if Corey Anderson wins the Bellator light heavyweight Grand Prix, Walker's not at the top of the division when he does it. So yeah, MF Bunny, you're banned. Out you go. You can't spam like that. Out you go. I don't care what you're saying. I've got Conor McGregor, obviously, because I have a brain. But you're gone. Don't spam like that. There are 1,000, yeah, indeed. Congrats on 12K, bitch, yeah. Dude, what the fuck? I don't know. It's just people are just mentally challenged, so they just spam a lot for some reason. I watched some Burns fights, and I think you're right, he probably could beat Colby as well. Yeah, he's pretty good, dude. Pretty good. And when you think about the close fights with Kunchenko and Gunnar Nelson, you got to think about Kunchenko as an undefeated monster from Russia that people are like, he's a bit late in his age, but like he could really make a run in this division. Like Kunchenko, we haven't even seen him since, I don't believe. So, we might have seen him since. But let me look up what Alexei Kunchenko's doing, man. Because I remember being pretty excited for him until Burns signed to fight him, in which case you kind of got to go Burns. But Alexei Kunchenko, the Wolverine, 20-2. I think he lost to Alessio. I'm not too sure, though. Let me find out. Yes, he did lose to Alessio Zaleski dos Santos, but I think that was razor close as well, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, he had some good wins. 16-1. Sergey Romanov, 36-11. Some good veteran Russians, 11-2. Like, he was the next big thing, and then Burns takes it on short notice and gets the job done. Like, you got to give it to Gilbert Burns, man. You got to give it to Gilbert Burns. He's an absolute savage. Even though they were close fights between Kunchenko and Gunnar Nelson and Burns. Burns took him on like a week's notice, 2 weeks' notice each time. So, yeah. Do you think Crute can beast Lee Izzy? I don't believe Crute can beast Lee Izzy. He could do. Obviously, anyone can have a chance. But I think Crute's a little bit undersized frame-wise for light heavyweight. I think that's going to be a problem when he gets to championship level. Right now, for these guys that are a bit chinny, that you can get a one punch on, I think Crute's going to be really good. But I think once he gets to the championship level of the game, he's going to have to go full grappler. Because I don't think he's going to be able to stand with the length of certain guys. But, Adesanya's moving up from middleweight, so you never know what's going to happen. But I just feel like the Rakic's and the Projaskas, maybe. I don't know. Projaska's a bit more approachable, but the Rakic's, the bigger guys of the light heavyweight division might give Crute some problems. But hopefully, maybe he goes full grappler on Johnny Walker. That would be a good thing to see. Because he did it on Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, just took no chances on the feet whatsoever and shot straight for a takedown and ragdolled him start to finish, broke a record for most takedowns in a single round at light heavyweight. So, yeah, or in a one-round fight at light heavyweight. So, yeah, I like it. Regardless of weight, he did it at light heavyweight, but that was across the board. He got the most takedowns in a one-round fight, I believe, before getting to Kimura. So, he's very good at grappling. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with him, Hopefully he wins. I'm looking forward to seeing his rise. And he's young, so he's going to improve massively as well. One more Burns and Usman fight. I have no idea, Canelo Alvaroid. I have no idea, dude. Good name. But I'm hoping it's 258 February. I think that's when it is. And if it isn't then just fucking, I don't know, make Wonderboy champ and we'll move on from there. I don't know. Diana Asgarova thoughts. Don't know. Guru, my mum caught me watching. Okay, cool. Our spirits go to the moon when we sleep. I don't believe that's entirely true, but good bedtime story, I guess. That'd be terrifying to me. I don't know why parents tell their kids stuff like that. I don't want to think about my spirit leaving my body whatsoever when I sleep, to be honest with you, because I don't know. I feel like I have a weird thing when I sleep. I don't know. I can't ever. I'm not scared. But I always have to check. You know what I mean? I always have that problem when I sleep. I'm not actually scared of anything. If a monster was in my house, it's human, I'll probably fuck it up. No likely, because most of the time scary things are old as well, so they're going to be fragile. So I'll give that old woman who's in my room a bop on the fucking nose, and she'll be no more problem if it is a real situation. But like, I do like to check, because I always seem to hear things when I'm sleeping, little creaks that you don't normally hear. Or like a little brush of air that isn't normally a brush of air, So, I don't know. What are we talking about? Spirits leaving the body when we sleep? I don't know, dude. Sleep is just fucking annoying. I wish someone would just KO me sometimes. And I just wake up the next day. Sure, I'll end up like fucking Diego Sanchez after a week. But, you know, it'd be a bit easier. I don't know. I can't sleep sometimes. It's fucking annoying. How sharp do you think? Well, sometimes, all the time, I can't fucking sleep. It's really pissing me off. But, you know, good stuff. Gaethje realized how good Conor is after facing Khabib. That's why he's quiet right now. Lamau. Indeed. Guru, would you assault a woman? No, obviously not. No. There's no, because you said assault. So that's like, the crime is that I've just hit her. So no, obviously not. But like if, I don't know, if there was like a terror attack and she was female, she's getting that front kick right to the mush. You know what I mean? Regardless of the gender. How would Bisping versus Rob have gone? Well, I'd imagine the Rob would have KO'd him with a head kick, mate. Pretty fucking dangerous here. Smoke some tree, you will sleep. Well, it actually has the adverse effect, so no, that's not how it works, good sir. I appreciate your diagnosis, but it actually seems to make the problem a little bit worse because you're so overdrived at the time, so indeed. How sharp do you think all of this boxing training has made McGregor striking? Pretty sharp. I wonder if it will leave him open to some leg kicks if we see him go past 40 seconds, because as much as the Cerrone fight happened, we really can't tell anything from that, to be honest with you. It's Cerrone. He doesn't start fast, and McGregor does, so obviously he would have done that. So, what is a muscle relaxer? It isn't, no. I don't know what you guys think it is, but it just isn't. Take pills of... No, I'm not going to take... I don't need to take anything to help me sleep. I just need to... I don't know. I don't know. My brain just goes into overdrive. Like, when... I feel like people's brains, they can go off when they're just on the bus, but my brain is like, okay, so now we're taking on Gerald Mearshart on short notice, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And we've got him after a 3-month turnaround, you know what I mean? And we're getting paid this much, and then we'll move on to this one over here. And then what would I do if, like, everything broke loose and I had to barricade up my door? And I'd be like I just go into some different realms of thinking, you know what I mean? Dustin, workout for real? No, I have been. Working out's cool. Magnesium helps, bro. I get the same thing, yeah. Do you agree with Brendan Schaub that Conor handled Khabib the best out of all of his opponents? Ooh, don't make me agree with Brendan Schaub here. But yes, of course, Conor did. He won a round and he survived the longest while winning a round. So yes, indeed. Try meditating, Guru. Just clear your mind until you can. No thanks. Sounds like a waste of time. I'd rather think about stuff than clear my mind. So yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Why would I ever want to do that? I mean, maybe it's cool. Like, I know some people say that meditation, they started levitating or they started feeling like they were in the sky. You weren't, and you didn't feel that way. But, I don't know. Thoughts are pretty cool. I just wish they would get me to sleep. You know what I mean? Conor TKO's Khabib if they rematch. I don't know if I can agree with that one. I think Khabib would beat him in a rematch. I said this before, unless Khabib takes a hiatus and like there's questions over whether or not he's going to be rusty or whether he's been training as hard over the time off, then I'm not going to pick McGregor to beat Khabib. I have to pick Khabib. You have to. The evidence is there. You know what I mean? It's a type of meditation. If you focus on nothing for a short period, you'll be calmer. But then I'll start thinking about nothing, and I'll start thinking about the pronunciation of with a TH and how annoying that is to pronounce, and then my mind will be off again. You know what I mean? So you can't. The whole idea of meditation is not to focus on nothing, because then you're focusing on something. Nothing. You know what I mean? I think it's just, I don't even know what meditation is, but just everyone shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Maybe. I don't know. I'm a problem. Cool. Jimmy Manoa may come back. Jimmy Manoa. Wonderful stuff. Guru got that 12-year-old ADHD vibe. It's not even an illness, though, man. You guys act like ADHD is an illness. It's just like an advantage, man. I think this whole ADHD, ADD, oh, it's autism. It's just like, I don't know, suppressing human evolution, maybe. Because why do they always seem to be geniuses? Answer me that. I feel like people are just, I don't know. Doctor's like, he's too fucking smart for us. You know what I mean? He's going to go on to become something. Put him on that medication. Dumb him down a bit. You know what I mean? How many rounds would Hooker last against Khabib? Oh, I think Hooker would definitely lose against Khabib. He'd go down in 3. Second round submission. Third round submission. I think he could stay out of submissions because he's so long and tall for the division. Like, he's sort of hard to keep down. But I think Khabib would keep him down. But I think Khabib would have to beat him up a bit first. And then, like, the rear naked choke would present itself. And Khabib would submit him at the end of the second or third. I'd go with. Look at what Mike Perry said on BJ Penn. It's not good. What did he say about BJ Penn? What is in the website, you mean? UFC News? What did Mike Perry say? I'm not accepting your cookies. Fucking stupid websites, man. I can't just fucking click on something nowadays. I ain't accepting nothing. I ain't clicking through stuff to get to your page. If it's there for me to click through, I'm not going on your page then. That's what they're going to get until they stop. Everyone stop clicking on allow and cookies and all of that shit, please. Because they'll just stop using them. They'll stop asking you to accept. If everyone stops going on the website because of them asking that shit, don't fucking do it. Anyway, what we're talking about? Is anyone on this chat obsessed with either Conor or Khabib? Stop being so boring, people, indeed. Of course. But they're good questions. I mean, Rob Martell, you could ask a question of your own rather than referencing the question that you seem to be so bored with. How interesting. Ask your own question. Let's get some stuff going, you know. They say Khabib is very rich. See, or we just get more Khabib conversation. He does not need UFC money. What do you reckon he does out there in Dagestan? Him and his cousin... Makachev, I mean, probably just chilling, you know. I don't know what they do. I don't know what there is to do on the Dagestan cliffs. Like, oh, Slinky must be big on the cliffside. Imagine living on a cliffside. Slinky must be huge over there. Maybe like Slinky tournaments. Maybe like like a wheel of cheese chase that they do. I don't know what they'll do out there, man. It's pretty interesting. Some goat taming. I don't know. I actually don't know what there is to do. Maybe, listen, maybe Khabib plays like fucking Battlegrounds and we just don't know about it, you know? Khabib could just be a secret pro gamer, you know? You never know. I really highly doubt it. I reckon he probably just sits in front of a statue or something, but you could have a different side to him, you know? You mean his wife? Oh, wait. Okay, calm down. Lamau, we know you're referring to his wife. No, I'm talking about Makachev, his cousin. Different cousin. I think he's low-key gangster. Maybe. Who knows? This all humble brother, you know? But secretly, brother, we take over. You know what I mean? I'm humble. Me and Putin, good friends. But secretly, we take over Georgia, brother, you know? Chekadze, ruining the Dagestan name. I don't know, maybe there's going to be some war going on. There's too much money. So much money, there's got to be war. You know what I mean? Do you have any proof that Khabib's wife is his cousin other than a random article on Google? It's not a random article, though, is it, good sir? It's a reference from his own father saying it on Russian television. So thank you very much for saying it's a random article. I didn't mean to offend you, the same person who defended Khabib earlier in my chat. The same exact person who defended Khabib earlier in my chat. It's just that his dad said that it was. So I kind of believe it, you know? So, yeah. Are you worried to hook a chat? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, dude. So you shouldn't take it. We're not even insulting him about it. Like, you can do what you want. You shouldn't take it as an insult, dude. Don't assume negativity towards incest, you fucking incest shamer. You fucking piece of shit. Wait, Khabib doesn't like Giga Chikadze? I have no idea. But I imagine that the Dagestanis were like the cool guys in the Caucasus. You know what I mean? Yeah, we run Caucasus, brother. You guys have a Caucasus, no fight like Dagestan, brother. You know this. And then all the Georgians come out as well, and all of a sudden, you know, they're not the only fighter in the Caucasus. You know, like the gay in the village situation. Who knows? Maybe there's a bit of rivalry going on. Harsh words. I was being very nice. Does it really prove that his dad said that? Yeah, his dad did say it on Russian television. Well, DC ever going to appreciate Jones? Is DC ever going to appreciate Jones? He kind of has to. But at the same time, Jones cheated in his fight. So I'd be angry if I was DC as well. I watched DC Stipe 3 again. Man, the commentary is, they got to stop. They've got to stop. They've got to get rid of Joe Rogan. They've got to get rid of Daniel Cormier. They've got to get rid of Dominic Cruz. I'm not even... It needs to be Bisping, Felder, and Anik. And that's all we need. And every single one of them, you know? That's all we need. I'm sick to death of the commentary that I hear in these fights, man. They are just silent throughout everything Stipe does. You know? It's just whatever. All good. How do you cheat a head kick? By taking steroids and them showing up in your system during the fight. That's probably why, I'd say. But Joe Rogan is the UFC. But he isn't, though. He was gone for a while and he came back, and it was fine when he was gone. The ranking system is keeping some legit fights from us. Ask Islam, you know. What do you mean? The ranking system. He's fighting Dober. That's a good fight. DC blows. Okay. Are you worried that Hooker Chandler isn't official yet? I'm a little bit worried, but I assume it's going to be official. Either they've announced it to try and peer pressure Chandler into making it official, or something's gone on. But usually when a fight's in the works, it's done. You know what I mean? Like 95% of the time. Especially when it's a huge fight like that. When they announced it's in the works, it's probably done. You know what I mean? Mike Perry has a future in the UFC if he gets his shit together. No. How old is he? 29. He has a future in the UFC, but it just depends what they want to do with him. He's not going to be a top contender. He's just left it too late, in my opinion. Let me see how old he is. 29 years of age, 30 in September. He could have 2 fights before then, and that'll put him at 30 years of age, looking to jump into the top 15 if he wins both of them, which is a big ask as well. I don't know. You've also got to ask yourself, even if he does recover and become like a good fighter again, like he was against Luque and like he was against Santiago Ponzinibbio, then has he wasted the 2 years of improving that he could have been doing? Like, I don't know what they're going to do with him, to be honest with you. Let's do Perry versus Sanchez. I'm down. I'm down for that. I want to do Emil Meek versus Diego Sanchez because they have some beef. And then loser goes home just so we can keep Emil Meek around. But if they want to do Mike Perry versus Diego Sanchez, that's cool. They could also do Mike Perry versus... They could still do the Perry Lawler fight. I don't know. But they won't do that because he's so far down the rankings now. I'd watch Mike Perry versus Chaos Williams. That'd be a good one. English, change your language, brother. Yes, brother. I am English, brother. I am the one changing languages, brother. You know this. The one you speak right now, brother. He tagged him. Yeah, I'm not Irish. I rewatched Barboza, Khabib, and I realized how similar it was to the Justin performance. It doesn't seem like Khabib has improved. It was the same game plan, walking him down with jabs and kicks the same way. Yeah, but he has improved in terms of what he does once he gets people down, because it almost felt like when Khabib was taking Barboza down, he was like expecting him to get back up. Like, I'm not going to keep him here, but when he does get back up, I'll get him back down. You know what I mean? But against Gaethje and Poirier, there seems to be a more... I know I've got them down. Now I'm going to move on and do really well. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's pretty good. Perry said if his fans approach him, something bad will happen to them unless they give him money. Very interesting. I just want a women's title fight where we don't know the outcome beforehand. That would be an amazing situation, but it's never going to happen. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate all of the new content, Guru. I appreciate your hope 2021 is a big year for you. I appreciate your $5. Fundamental Bear, thank you so much indeed. Appreciate it, good sir. Amazing stuff. Thank you for the $5, dude. Appreciate it. I don't know what I'm going to do after this one in terms of content, but we're going to try and find some content. I've got a week to kill, in my opinion, and the fights come back Saturday. So I've kind of got until the 8th to kill time until. Then I'll start breaking down the Saturday, then the middle of the week. We'll get to it. We'll get back in the mix. Thank you for the $5, dude. Appreciate that. Amazing stuff. Fundamental Bear, long-time donator of the stream. Konnichiwa, good sir. That means hello. Apparently, Khabib doesn't like Yan. Why not? I don't know. I mean, Yan is diversely bred. One side Asian, one side Russian, Siberian. Maybe Khabib's got like a thing against that. You never know. Perry beat Luque. Okay, very interesting. He could have done. He could have won the first 2 rounds against Luque. The rounds are a bit closer now that I look back at him, but yeah, he could have beat Luque. First 2 rounds for sure. Source, trust me, bro. No, it just says it there. You can just look it up. Gary, your sound. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude. Dude, Rogan yelling vowels impression. Ow! He doesn't even yell anymore. He just sits there and goes, oh my God. Wow. Just like that. He's incredible. He's the real deal. He's won the belt, Joe. He was the real deal before his title elimination bout. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bit interesting to me sometimes who they choose to employ, but that's okay. McGregor or Khabib, I think McGregor will knock him out in the first round. Am I wrong? I'm going to go with Khabib, dude. I think he wins the rematch. That's not true. They linked up just last month. Very interesting. Does anyone know about that Dalai Lama reincarnation? Oh, whatever. Top 5 subscribers. I'm going to go with me on my phone, me on an incognito tab, me on iPad, and I'll go with me on Tamagotchi. That's the extreme. That was when I was really struggling for views. You know, when you've got to start hooking up the Tamagotchi to watch your videos to add to the ad revenue and stuff. You've got to like feed the ads in it. Like they become the Tamagotchi. It's weird, but you've got to find a way. You know what I mean? So I'd go with those. The fact that Khabib is married to indeed. I don't want to say it directly because I don't know. I feel like stating things that are actually happening sometimes can be called offensive. Seems to be a theme in 2020, you know? Just saying what's happening. It's like, whoa, dude. What are you trying to say, dude? You trying to say what's happening right now, dude? You want to get fucking banned? You trying to go to jail? You trying to say what's fucking happening right now? Don't say what's happening. Say what's not happening. Why does Joe Rogan think everyone's hurt after being hit in a sport where you get hit constantly? Yeah, no, it's pretty ridiculous. Is it me or is then we've got Conor McGregor as a chicken doing a Joe Rogan impression in the chat? Don't. It was funny until you did it so much, though. It was funny until it kept going, and now you've got to be stopped. It's 2021. Let's change things. Yes, indeed. Cover some one championship events if you like, or if you haven't yet. Good fights. No, I'm good. There's too much. I'd over cram my brain with different events and stuff and different fighters. I've got to keep my information limited to this niche, you know, because otherwise I'm not going to rattle off what event that happened at and who this guy fought when and when he did this and how many strikes were in the Volkanovski-Holloway third round, like 25-15. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be able to come out of that stuff if I overpack my brain with stupid 1FC shit. Next thing you'll be asking me to watch fucking Bellator. Fuck you. Dominic Reyes is for real, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he's for real. I know he's in a fight with John Jones right now, but trust me, after that body kick, he's earned my approval, Joe Rogan. He's real, you know? Joe Rogan's realness approval rating in the middle of title fights will never go unnoticed. Thank you for the $2.80, cameraman, with your Californian dollars as well. What's the most you made during your YouTube career? Well, I don't know, during a stream. Chemp donated like 500 once, randomly, and then he left afterwards for ages. Yeah, he donated like 500 once, so that was pretty crazy. In one day as well. I don't even know what happened. I don't even think it was an occasion. I think he just donated 500 because he was bored or something. But yeah, that happened. How is Joe Rogan doing 3+ hours on a podcast for the last 9 years, for crying out loud? Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually crazy, dude. His work rate is, you know, Joe Rogan, as you just said, his work rate, dude, fucking, you know, he like talks to people on camera and asks them questions for like 2 hours a day. Like, that's just, you know, you don't understand the hustle. You know what I mean? And then he watches fights cage side and says some stuff now and again. Like, you know what I mean? Like laborers, 10-hour-a-day shifts on top of a rooftop in the snow. Like, forget about it. You know, you don't know the hustle like Joe Rogan, you know? Weasel said Gaethje's footwork and leg kicks would make him a bit of a harder matchup for Conor than Poirier. Do you agree? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Poirier's a little bit more boxing heavy as well. Gaethje throws stuff at some weird angles. Poirier's a little bit more stuff that McGregor's to be used to. Poirier's a bit easier to train for as well, I'd say. But I also feel like Poirier... Gaethje has more of a chance to not lose as badly to McGregor. But I think Poirier has more of a chance of winning. Do you understand? So where I think Gaethje would survive longer than Poirier would, I think that Gaethje won't have the gas that Poirier has in the later rounds to take advantage of McGregor, because I know people like to say that only McGregor gasses out, but Gaethje gasses out every time it gets past the third round. So, you know, and against Khabib after the first minute. So, you know, I feel like Poirier would have more in the tank to really put a finish on McGregor that Gaethje wouldn't. But also Poirier's style leaves him more vulnerable to be finished early, whereas Gaethje covers up a bit more. He moves backwards, you know. So, you know, it's interesting. Only Hooker can beat Conor. I don't know what I just said there, but only Hooker can beat Conor indeed. I think I said that weirdly. I say Bisping, Felder, and Anik trio, and you can do good on Anik or Felder's off days. Very interesting indeed. Stipe versus Ngannou 2 or John versus Stipe? John Stipe. But obviously do Stipe and Ngannou 2 now. But Stipe Miocic versus John Jones. I don't know. People, I feel like there's a problem in the MMA world right now. And it's a real problem in the MMA world. It's like, is Stipe supposed to be the underdog? I don't understand how many more times Stipe has to win fights before he's not going to lose his next one. It's very strange to me. I've never seen someone win so dominantly and so emphatically so many times and still be under. Like it's actually confusing many a time. MAF banner, you're just permanently banned out. You go. Hey Guru, where is Mairbek Taisimov been at? I have no idea. I have no idea. Been out for a while. He lost to I don't even know who he lost to last, but unfortunate. I almost want to say. Let me find out what division he's in, and I'll tell you who he lost to last. All right, thanks for giving me the KG. I appreciate that. I'm from the UK. I should understand KG, but I feel like my understanding of weight has come through the UFC, so I'm more Americanized. You know what I mean? Yeah, he lost to Diego Ferreira last. There you go. I thought so. I should have said it, man. I should have had the confidence. But there's so much of these fucking OVs with these OV as the end of their name. They sound the same to me, man. Thank you for the £2, Mr. Barack Obama. I appreciate that, dude. I think Dom beat Jones, and it pisses me off. Opinion. Dominic Reyes beat Jones, and it pisses me off. Well, yeah, you have a brain. That's my opinion. Well done, Mr. Barack Obama, for having a brain. I appreciate your £2. Really do appreciate that. You have eyes, and you have a brain, and you're not delusional. So, yes, of course, Dominic Reyes won the first 3 rounds against John Jones. Of course he did. Yeah, obviously he did. That's just how it is. But, just ignore that and go along with what the John Jones fans say because they just can't get over it. So, yeah. Justin Willis versus Jake Collier. I'm going to go with Justin Big T Willis. Definitely. Beat Mark Hunt. I'm joking. He kind of beat Mark Hunt, but then again, Mark Hunt's kind of just an embarrassment now. But I like Mark Hunt, but he's just stop fighting, please. You're embarrassing us. Stop losing to rugby players in Australia, please. No more Mark Hunt fights, for the love of fucking God, please. Because he beat Derek Lewis, and if Derek Lewis beats Ngannou or anyone at heavyweight from now on, it's a problem, Jones fans are crybabies, indeed. Joe Rogan after a title fight, he's the best. Who's better? Yeah. Who's better? No one's better. Yeah. Who does that? Go home, big titty, yeah. You can do what if fights like Volk versus Jan or Stipe versus Izzy. What if fights? Okay. For content? Yeah, I'm not going to do that, though. That seems a bit silly. I'll wait until it's a bit more relevant. I feel like the relevancy of videos are the ones that are good. I don't think people are too entertained by just some random prediction of a fight. I feel like it has to be. The anticipation of it coming up is a big part of watching a prediction video, Every new champ is the GOAT, according to Rogan. Yeah, of course. Of course they are. And Woodley, if he beats Usman, he beats GSP's legacy. You know what I mean? Because he has the chance to be called the greatest of all time if he beats Usman. I'm so glad Usman won in hindsight because they would have started calling him the greatest welterweight of all time. So that would have been embarrassing to watch. That's very embarrassing to watch. Yeah, Goldberg joining UFC would be good. I like Goldberg. I'm going to clear my nose. Joe Rogan's biased towards black guys. Oh, yeah, cool. He has a thing for him now. Yeah, Goldberg joining UFC would be good. I like Goldberg. However, he doesn't know anything about the sport. So, I like his voice. He has a very good commentary voice. But at the same time, I've never seen someone watch so many fights but still not understand what's happening. So I like Goldberg. The voice will never be matched, But he had to be cut. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I'd bring back Goldberg. I wouldn't bring back Jimmy Smith. I like Felder, Anik, Bisping. I like that combo. And then maybe slide in a DC, mix him in there, here and there. And then maybe mix in also I'm not too sure, but yeah, mix in some other guys as well. Who else is there? No one else, but good stuff, Mauro Ranallo impression. Jacare Souza just mashed his button. He has a weird voice, And Snoop Dogg singing the hymns. He's got a weird, the big camoosh. Robbie Waller by knockout. Weird voice, Mauro's really good. Yeah, bring Mauro in. I wouldn't mind. John Gooden doesn't know what's going on either. And Dan, the jabs that they throw out, it sets up the other punches. Thanks, John Gooden. Now read out that advert for Halo, please. And that's enough out of you. You know, like that it's just, I don't understand sometimes, you know. What about Bill Goldberg? Yeah, Snoop Dogg sing the hymns, lol, yeah, singing the hymns. But there's nothing funny about this, he was saying. I feel like Ronaldo was actually feeling so sympathetic to Nate Robinson, and they're just singing over the top of it because Ronaldo knows what it's like for a guy to get KO'd, you know. Brian Stan. Oh, Brian Stan. Oh, yes, God, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Brian Stan should come back immediately. He was the greatest. I know he said Darren Till's name wrong about 5 times per fight, but Brian Stan was one of the best commentators. I don't care. He was so underrated, and they got rid of. Well, they didn't get rid of him. He got rid of himself. Boss move. Too good for the commentary at the UFC, you know. But yeah, if Colby didn't get dropped and finished and won the decision, it would have reminded me of GSP versus Hendricks. Thoughts? I don't know, but I just burped. What do you mean it would remind you of GSP Hendricks? I don't understand. But all good. Brian Stad had an amazing voice like Anik or Goldie, and technical analysis like Cruz or Bisping. Yeah, he had the perfect mix, you know. Mauro was good, yeah. Where do you rate DJ's grappling off of his back? What's Demetrius Johnson? He doesn't really go for it off of his back. He's more of a scrambler to get to a better position. I don't think he even risks too much off of his back. So I don't know where I'd rate his grappling off of his back. He seems to be more of a buck and weaver and find his way on the outside because he's so fucking lightning fast. He can find his way under people. So I don't know what I'd rate it, to be honest with you. But it's probably fucking good as everything else. But I think he's so good at grappling off of his back that it's not a Hail Mary to him. He's so good at grappling in general that he don't need grappling off of his back. Because ideally, you don't want to be grappling off of your back against someone in an MMA fight. So I feel like DJ's so good at grappling that he just doesn't have to be forced to find an answer off of his back because he's so good at scrambling, you know? Hey, I know this guy. He's a good commentary guy, but a little bit stupid guy. Okay, cool. I should have read that as Habib. I'm sorry. Robbie Lawler versus Jeff Neal. Who you got, and do you think Robbie has still got it? No, I think I'll go with Jeff Neal, head kick KO or something. But at the same time, I was kind of let down by. I know it's Wonder Boy, but But Jeff Neal, like something had to. He did the same thing every fucking round. Like I watched it again. It's just. It's so weird to me, man. MMA is so weird because you can look so good against someone and then so shit against someone else. It's so annoying that you have to find a prediction out of that. But I'd go with Neal against Lawler for sure. But it's worrying, man, because, he just got schooled and he never changed anything and he never tried anything else. He didn't throw anything in 8 shots. Weird indeed. No, that's not what happened. He was throwing stuff, but he just kept doing the same combinations over and over again. Like, you've got to chop at the legs of Wonderboy. He has Wonderboy limping. Why not hammer home as hard as you fucking can leg kicks in that 5th round? It seemed like Neal was, so long as Wonderboy still thinks I'm a nice guy, you know? Like, Wonderboy fell to the ground in the 4th round. Jeff Neal's losing the entire fight. He just watches him get back up. Jump the fuck on him and rain down elbows, you stupid fuck. This is your career on the line. But it's just like, at least Wonderboy thinks I'm cool, you know? Oh, well, good shit, dude. Now you've lost. Back to waiting for you. I'll take 2 fucking ketchup sachets. You know what I'm saying? Guru, thoughts on Daft Punk? I don't know. I heard it has a lot of bugs in it and stuff, so I haven't played it yet. Maybe it was fixed for a Wonderboy to win. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been fixed the other way around because they said that Jeff Neal was up on strikes in round 2 at, I think, 26 or 27. He only threw 25. So they had him landing more than he even threw. So I think they were trying to rig it in Jeff Neal's favor. Because the stats that came out, I think Wonderboy outlanded him like 4-1. And they're like, 2-1 nearly? Like, I feel like Wonderboy would land like a jab, 1-2, body shot, jab, kick. And then Neal would come forward, miss everything but one shot. And then Wonderboy do the same thing. 1, 2, jab, 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 jab. And it was just, I felt like he was clearly outlanded him 4-1, but they had like 2-1, which is weird. This time he thinks Daft Punk is Cyberpunk. Oh, yeah, sorry. Daft Punk. I don't know what their song. I've heard of them now that you mention it, but I was just thinking about Cyberpunk, I guess. Daft Punk. An electronic French. French. What am I going to do? Get to the fucking third song of their album and it's just they fucking giving up. Yeah? Fucking French. Sick of it. One more time. Sacre bleu! You know? Holloway said he won the first Volk fight. Makes me really dislike him. Comes off like a little bitch. The first Volkanovski fight is in... You can't say that he won that one. I will accept... There was one moment, I believe, in one of the later rounds where Holloway dipped Volkanovski a bit with a punch. You can't argue that he wins the round off of it. But at the same time, like, I don't mind. You know? I don't mind. Like, it was close. And if a couple of punches landed extra for Holloway in a certain round, you know, it's close. But he didn't win. But the first fight is undeniably Volkanovski. Like, it could be 4-1 Volkanovski. It was close, but it was undeniably Volkanovski in the first one. Second one, also undeniable, but the second one was a bit closer, but it was still Volkanovski both times, man. I can't get over it. Was Holloway paper champ? He never beat the current champ McGregor and got 2 wins over Aldo, who was a shell of himself after that fight, who's currently rebounding and looking for title elimination bouts in the bantamweight division. Don't think you can say that. I don't think we can say the shell of himself Aldo anymore. You know what I mean? How many more fights does you have to win or go to a very competitive loss with? So, yeah. I don't think you can say shell of himself, in my opinion. Second was not undeniable. It was. It was when you look at it back. In the moment, I was like, oh, close rounds. But like when you watch it back, it's very obviously Volkanovski 3-2. Lawler versus Woodley 2. Who have you got? Both have gone off the rails. Lawler versus Woodley 2. I'd go with Woodley, but I would worry about it because I don't know. It seems like they're all just a bit pussyish, you know. Are you still leaning towards Conor against Wonderboy? Yes. Yes, I am. And I'm proudly saying that as well. I'm proudly saying that. I know people try and get me to keep saying that so that I can fucking maybe embarrass myself because that's how it feels sometimes. People keep asking me if I'm still picking. I would pick Conor McGregor to KO Wonderboy in the first round. And I'd feel good about it. I'd feel really good about him doing it. But yeah, people don't like that opinion until I pick Pettis to beat Wonderboy in the second round by TKO and it happens. So yeah. Wonderboy's got some opens. You think that search up freak in the dictionary and you'll see Yoel Romero, Joe Rogan, yeah. I love how butthurt all these delusional, uneducated Holloway. Love it. Okay, calm down. We don't want to get them away. You know what I mean? It's not a bad pick. I know, but people keep asking me, "Are you still picking him?" Like I'm gonna change. McGregor beats Wonderboy, dude. He just does in the first round, catches him. But you know. Nothing happens. Prime Cruz versus Sandhagen. Sandhagen already answered that. And it was from you as well. What's up, dude? Back again. Who tried to frame me earlier with lies. Interesting stuff. Who is Mike Jackson? Record 1-1. What the fuck? I'll go with he's a photographer and he lost to CM Punk. But he beat... No, he beat CM Punk, but he lost to... he lost to Mickey Gall. Yeah, he lost to Mickey Gall. That was the whole narrative going into the CM Punk fight for him. But it's like, oh, but this guy also lost to Mickey Gall because he got finished in the first round. He's not good at all. But yeah. Favorite fighters ever? Luque. Mirko Crocop was always good. Vicente Luque. I don't know. Luque is just, there's something about watching him. He just does things that I like. You know what I mean? I just like the way Luque does stuff. Like in every way that he does stuff. I don't know. That's a bit of a recent name, I know, but I still can't deny it. But yeah. Dope. Rakic versus Adesanya. Yeah. I'm going to go with Alexander Rakic. Diego Sanchez? Nah, not Diego Sanchez. Thompson versus Woodley 3. Who you got? I've got Wonderboy Thompson. Clay Guida, Cowboy. Yeah, Cowboy was always one of my favorites. Cowboy Cerrone. Any other hidden gems? Lozon was always fun to watch. Pettis has always been a favorite of mine. I feel like people have... You know what I found weird? Do people hate Pettis? I don't know why, but I feel like recently it's sort of gone away. But like before then, it felt like everyone hated Pettis for some... And I don't know why they hated him. He did nothing but take on monsters in his entire career, and he won against some of them. And I don't know, I feel like people had something against him for some reason. Maybe he was just on the wrong side of the fights all the time. But I felt like there was this like kind of disliking of Pettis for a bit at some point. But I think it's just genuinely because He was the guy to beat Ferguson. He was the guy to beat Nate Diaz. Like he was always on the wrong side of the what the people wanted to see happen. You know what I mean? Like he was always the guy who would mess things up if he won. Same way he did with Wonderboy, you know. Love Cowboy. Showtime's still here, yeah. Adike Wido, yeah. Have a good day, kind sir. Nothing but you, nothing but love, and I enjoy your streams way more than watching Joe Rogan. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll never go to Spotify unless they pay me 100 million. I wish Dana would put Ali in his place by telling him he's not a matchmaker. I wish that Dana would tell Ali that as well. But you know, that won't happen. They seem to be all getting along, you know. Do you think Jacare can still make any noise at middleweight? No, his chin's gone. He went from taking everything from everyone to getting KO'd off Kevin Holland off of his back, who doesn't really have KO power himself. So, you know. He KO'd Buckley, but like he couldn't do it to Darren Stewart, Alessio Di Chirico, Gerald Mearshart. Like I like Jacare, but I think now is it was a good sign that he's done. On the forehead, you know? Not even on the chin. Like fair enough if Holland like clipped him with like the middle knuckle across the chin and like spun his head round and KO'd him. But like the forehead is what you want them to hit. You're almost trying to make the opponent hit your forehead, you know? Like that's what they always fucking do on the ground. They dip their forehead into stuff. And when that is the thing that gets you KO'd, I think it's time to stop. You know what I mean? He also looked so lethargic and slow on the ground. So yeah, some shots land, doesn't have to be power. No, it does. No, there is a sign sometimes if you get hit with certain shots that KO you, you know? I know that people are now saying that, Rob Font and his power, right? You can't get hit by a guy like Rob Font, but you can, and flyweights have done, and they've survived. And I think Marlon Moraes' chin might be a little bit gone. So yeah, those things happen, you know. Vettori versus Whittaker for the interim belt. Yeah, that's the ideal one, but I don't want that, man. I don't fucking want that shit, man. I don't want that shit. The middleweight division's so fucked. It's so fucked, man. I don't want that, man. I want the middleweight division to breathe and sort out contenders. I don't want Vettori to get an interim belt title shot for beating Jack Hermansson. I want him to fight 2 more guys and then get his title shot, you know? I want Costa to fight 2 guys and then get his rematch if he can. But, like, is he moving up as fuck the whole division up, I guess? So we're going to have to do an interim belt or something, or have to do another Whittaker fight against someone who just beat, in my opinion. So, I don't know. It's fucking annoying. Holland could save it, maybe. No, Holland would just add to the logjam. And we just, instead of getting Vettori gets a shot against Adesanya, I just spat everywhere. Instead of getting Vettori gets a shot against Adesanya, Holland gets a shot against Adesanya, Whittaker gets his rematch, Costa gets his rematch. We now have half of those are going to get their way because they'll have killed each other off by the time Adesanya comes back down. So it's a piss take, but whatever. Font would KO Cody. Interesting. Yeah. Marlon has no chin. He's got to go back and grind sandbag with his teeth. Yeah, maybe. Even that might be a little bit too much for him. I might KO him again. One of them specks of sand here. Font would KO Cody. Yeah, there's a good chance. They could make that one next. But I feel like they might punish TJ with the Font fight, like Josh Thompson said. How would a Vettori versus Jacare gone at 256? I think Vettori would have won a decision. I was going to pick him by decision. But, yeah, oh well. Jan versus Glover prediction. I'll go with Jan Blachowicz. I'm going to go with Jan Blachowicz. First round to cow finish. Pseudo took Marlon's soul. Interesting. Tournament is probably true as well. Tournament is a good shout, actually. Indeed. Moraes' chin is very gone. It's hard for me to see. Very interesting. But I feel like right now at middleweight, we should try and get rid of some names. And those names are... Drum roll, please. Drum roll! There's no one next to me. I don't know who I'm asking to do a drum roll. We want rid of... fuck. Because Whittaker's an old guy, kind of. No, we don't want rid of Whittaker. Sorry. We kind of want rid of Paulo Costa because it's such an embarrassing performance that you can't sell a rematch. So, get rid of him. Get rid of Jared Cannonier. Get rid of Jack Hermansson. It hurts me to say that as well. We want rid of Derek Brunson. Fat shame Gastelum down to fucking bantamweight, where he belongs. Uriah Hall. Kill him. Holland, we want him staying on. Same with Vettori. Same with Till. Ideally, the top 5 should look like this in 3 years. Or 2 years. This is the top 5 in the middleweight division. Whittaker 1, Vettori 2, Till at 3, Holland at 4, and number 5, we've got like Shabazi and rebounds or something like that. Or like, who else is there? Maybe like a Makhmud Muradov at number 5. That'd be ideal. But other than that, I don't know. If you could mute any fighter fan base for a year, who would it be? Team Khabib. So I can make videos about him without fucking having to suck his chode every fucking second of the video. Ideal. No Till at champ. Nah. I don't think he'll be champ. Till's too funny and he's got too much personality to be champ. You can't have that. Unless you're like McGregor, like, but even then, you lose it when you become champ. So, yeah. You've got to be annoyingly not the guy we want as champion to be champion in the UFC. I've learned that over the years, you know. Just you can't have Colby versus Jorge for the belt. It's got to be Usman in the way, ruining all the buys, you know. TKZ versus Josh Emmett, who you got? I'll go with the Korean Zombie, TKO. Now I'm going to go with Josh Emmett by KO, I'd say. But close, though. But watching what Dennis Bermudez was doing when you look back at some of Korean Zombie's performances, the Ortega one stinks a little bit, and he is getting a bit older, so I'd go with Emmett coming back. But Emmett's got one leg now, so who knows what's going to happen when he comes back. That's the big deal. But I reckon I'd go with Emmett. TKZ didn't really. He should take a little bit more time off. If he signs it in any way, March or April, I think it's going to be bad for him. Guru, do you want Kevin Holland is absolute bonkers? Do I think Kevin Holland is absolute bonkers? No, he's all right. He's just a bit eccentric because, I don't know, he's getting attention and stuff. I like Holland, though. I just hope he doesn't veer off into the annoying stage of the personality development of a UFC fighter. Seems like they always get to that. You know, they're so fun and cool personality-wise until they start looking for belts, and then it's like they just get a bit much. I like Kevin Holland so much, man. He seems very cool. But I don't like the whole like that's just, you know, let's tone that bit down a bit. And then we'll bring up the other stuff. But I like Kevin Holland. I really do. I just hope that he doesn't. I used to like Adesanya when he was, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of personalities that I've really liked on the rise. And then they sort of changed things as they've got to the top. So, yeah. You know, I love the fact that he is Kenpo karate fighter. Yeah. I like Kevin Holland. He's cool. I like his cars. I like his story. I like how he just chucks in random bits of information that other fighters. Here's what's so good about Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland says off the cuff statements that would be an entire fighter's interview. You know, like if an entire fighter would give a whole interview about that time they headbutted a security guard. But for Kevin Holland, he just chucks it in there in the middle of his already existing good story. You know what I mean? Headbutted a security, yeah. Headbutted a security guard. You know, I got chucked out of school because I headbutted a security guard, and, you know, we moved on to the next thing, and he just moves on to the next thing. And then it's like, oh, cool. We don't even get to hear about that moment. That's just there. Cool stuff. I like Holland, but I just hope he doesn't veer off. Hopefully. We'll see. Luque versus Price 2 was such an underrated fight, yeah. It was a very good fight. And Price was doing really good in that fight as well, but he just kept getting cracked. Like he could have won he could have been winning if he didn't get cracked by Luque in that certain round. But he also had Luque in the Dash choke. I mean, listen, they're murderers in their division. If you got pressure and pace and volume, you can do well against Luque. But if you try and play that technical game with him like Randy Brown tried to, and other guys along those lines, I think he's got a better chance. Like even in the Wonderboy fight, like Wonderboy had to go more volume heavy than he usually does just to take advantage of Luque's shelling, because if you try and play that slow game with Luque, he'll just slowly chop you down, you know? Luque and Price are my favorite fight couple. Yeah, they seemed cool when they were fighting each other. Conor is a GOAT boxer in MMA, but not overall game. Okay. But he's pretty good jiu-jitsu-wise as well, I'd say. I'd say overall game, McGregor's pretty well-rounded. I'd say McGregor's probably one of the most well-rounded lightweights in terms of all aspects, you know, defensive. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to shoot takedowns. I'm not saying he can do everything. I'm just saying, like, in terms of what he needs to do, his jiu-jitsu is good. His defensive grappling is good in terms of keeping it standing, and his striking's phenomenal. I mean, you compare that to guys like Gaethje, who doesn't have the ground game. I mean, like, he's pretty well-rounded compared to some of these guys, I'll tell you. So, yeah. I just wish he'd be more offensive with it, because I was watching the Khabib scrambles again, And some guy posted a video about it when he was doing his Khabib scrambles and stuff. And then he was saying, what if McGregor had an offensive grappling game? And you look at the opportunities that McGregor has in certain fights for guillotines and back takes and stuff like that. I think he assumes that it's just like, oh, I've got to get out of this. But I think he should welcome it as a jiu-jitsu match if people try taking him down from now on. Obviously not against Charles Oliveira, but like if Gaethje's shooting a takedown, like, you know, get a hook in on his back, see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he doesn't go for it because he wants to KO, obviously, but I feel like it'd be almost cooler if McGregor got a submission nowadays, you know? Anyone want me to headbutt their fist? I don't know. It's up to you, dude. McGregor is a modern version of Chuck Liddell. Great takedown defense, defensively great grappling, best hands in the division. Yeah, but then, I don't know. Then there's always Khabib, you know what I mean? Just sitting there, waiting for him. Perfect style matchup. Lovely. I'll headbutt all of you first. Knee, legs, and elbows. All good. Charles versus Fiziev prediction, Guru. Hard matchup for Charles. Yeah, hard matchup, but I think Fiziev would get taken down. You know. I think Prime Tony was pretty well-rounded. Yeah, I was just looking at the division right now, you know. But yeah, I think Prime Tony was pretty well-rounded as well, dude, obviously. But you know. Awesome comments. Thanks, dude. Guru, do you think it will cost Leon Edwards being inactive so long and fighting a style that hasn't faced in a long time? A style that he hasn't faced in a long time. But, like, people always try and take down Edwards and hit him with big shots. But, you know, Chimaev is just that unorthodox style, I guess. But, yeah, I think the time off could affect him. But I also think the time off is going to affect Chimaev a bit because when you go from... Listen, Edwards was never active anywhere. Like, Edwards was almost like exclusively 8-month layoff fighter. You know what I mean? Like, give me 8 months and I'll take on RDA. So I kind of... And you go from Chimaev, who's been so active, to now he's taken months off. I mean, it could be the case for both of them, in my opinion. So, yeah. But I do worry about Edwards taking a lot of time off, though, obviously, because Chimaev is a fast starter. But at the same time, if they don't make that fight until, like, March... Chimaev goes from three fights in a month to like no fights in 6 months. It'd be a bit of a difference to him, you know. Thank you for the $2.80. Emilio J, I appreciate your Californian dollars. Of course, they're Canadian, I understand, but still. What if Conor guillotines Dustin? Dustin would cry. The one chance. I mean, it would be good. It'd be funny, meme-wise, because obviously the Dustin Poirier diamond guillotine, 0% success rate, 100% attempt rate in fights. Would be funny to see McGregor get the guillotine, but I don't see it happening. I don't see Poirier really shooting too many takedowns, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe he does, and in which case that could happen, but who knows. Reaction, thank you for the $2.80, by the way, dude. Appreciate that. Reaction if Dustin Gogo-Plata's Conor. That'd be embarrassing, obviously, but things can happen. I'd actually probably be quite excited if that happened, because I like watching. There's something about a Gogo-Plata that looks so cool to get done. So, yeah, I think it's the coolest looking submission, in my opinion. I know that's not a hot take, because I'm sure everyone agrees with me here as well. Like, triangles are pretty cool, but there's something about the Gogo-Plata when you wrap them up and you tuck the leg under their chin and then you finally got them. I think it's just a really cool submission to see done. So I wouldn't even be that salty. That's like when Impa Kasangane lost to Buckley and I had money on Kasangane. You can't be angry at it, you know? There's a jump spinning back kick to the face. I'm down. You know, take my parlay money. Who you got, O'Malley or a Sunsao? I actually don't mind O'Malley's chances at this point in the Sunsao's career. After that KO loss to Garbrandt, I don't know if he's going to be there anymore. We've never really seen him get starched like that before, so it's a bad sign when all of a sudden you do start getting starched. I mean, Marlon Moraes dropped him and stuff, but like he was still in it afterwards. He got submitted though. But to see someone go out cold, like Cody doesn't put people out cold. Like I know Cody Garbrandt has KO wins. But like they're TKOs. They're ground and pound follow-ups. There are a lot of sustained damage on the feet first sometimes. So to see him just get chinned with one shot like that, fair enough, it was a perfect shot. But for an older guy to all of a sudden switch off is a bad sign. So I'd probably edge O'Malley in that fight. But yeah, the disrespect that Jan is receiving is crazy. Yeah, but you know, we're picking Izzy. I'm sorry. I'm picking Izzy to win. So I'm not disrespecting Jan Blachowicz. It's just that's... I guess maybe you're seeing some people actually going after Jan Blachowicz, but I'm just picking Izzy, you know. Cody destroyed Almeida's career. Intriguing. He did kind of, to be fair. But then again, I kind of feel like I watched, what's it called? I watched Almeida versus Brad Pickett. I almost said Riddell. I watched Almeida versus Pickett the other day. It was a good fight. I forgot about that. I forgot about what happened. You know, like he dropped Pickett with an elbow beforehand. The flying knee finish. Obviously, I remember the finish happening, but I don't remember Almeida getting concussed so badly in the first part of the round. Really badly. Like Almeida's kind of always had a bit of a suspect chin. He just never faced it until he reached a certain level of competition, you know. Can Stipe take a punch from Francis still? Oh, yeah, he can, of course. I saw someone say in my comments the other day that this guy thinks that Stipe has the best chin in the heavyweight division or the best chin of all time when it's clearly Ngannou. Ngannou's been hit like fucking 4 times combined on his chin in his last 5 fights. I don't know if that tells me how good his chin is. You know what I mean? Tell another news story, Jan. Tell another a news story, Jan. About a jackal and lion. Other. Chael. Chael's voice. Chael would have a good cartoon character voice, you know? Like, I could see him being like the, I don't know what he'd be. But he'd actually be like the uncle in a cartoon show, you know? I like Chael's voice. Interesting. Dominic Reyes versus Thiago Santos, who you got? Yeah. Ariel, my nose is a balloon. Yeah. My nose is a triangle-shaped balloon. It's a sharp triangle-shaped balloon. I'm barely conscious. Currently have a family Christmas to deal with. I'm not trying to frame you. I love you. It was a mistype and I left for a while and I didn't hear your answer. All right, cool. Family Christmas on the 3rd of January. And the lies go deeper. I'm joking. Thank you, Star Wars fan Halil. I appreciate you, good sir. I hope Jan brings his noose. Okay. Guru, darling, can you keep this up for an hour after it's over? I must watch the whole stream. No problem. No, I'm joking. We'll see. You are phenomenal. Thank you. A parrot. Thanks, dude. Other. It's Gerbil, 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 Mr. Sonnen. I like Chael Sonnen, man. What was the last main event that made your heart race with anticipation? 256. Come on. 256. That's so recently, dude. Come on. Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. That was juicy. I didn't really mind about Thompson Neal because I wanted Thompson to win because I picked him and I liked Thompson. But I also kind of wanted some young blood at welterweight. So I wouldn't have been crushed if Wonderboy lost. Actually, I would have been because it's Wonderboy, but it wouldn't be like, my God, I wanted to, you know. I like Wonderboy, but I wouldn't have minded if Neal won. But the Figueiredo Moreno one was, I'm so invested in Figure. You know what I mean? So it's like intense. And I love Moreno as well because he really won me over in the embedded episodes. You know, I think that's something that a lot of people think Moreno should maybe be the breakout fighter of the year, one of them, because like 2 embedded series and everyone loves Moreno again after not like even considering his existence before he signed the fight with Figueiredo, you know. I celebrate Christmas on the 3rd of January, yeah. Obviously, I've known Moreno for ages, but he seems cool. Seems cool. I celebrate Christmas on the 3rd of January. Interesting. Did Jan bring his noose against Corey? I don't believe so. I don't think he actually brings a noose. It's just a story that he had one time. You know what I'm saying? Hendricks beat GSP, but no one talks about it because everyone hates Jones. He didn't beat GSP, though. He didn't. There's 3 rounds that GSP can win out of that. I know that in the 2 rounds that Hendricks won, he did more damage to GSP, but there's 3 arguable rounds for GSP in there. So I don't think that he clearly beat GSP. I think it could go either way, and some of those rounds are close. But I can see 3 rounds for GSP. I think it was the reaction afterwards, I think, came because GSP said he was leaving. I think if GSP said, and next I want to fight someone else, Anderson Silva, Dana White would be saying, yeah, he's the GOAT, and he just showed how tough he was, man. But then when GSP said, I'm going to go away for a little bit, you know, everyone was kind of like, fuck you, dude, you stupid fucking pussy, you know? All the media scores were for Hendricks. Yeah, I feel like if he said he was staying, they would have sort of gone towards him. But I think it was more anger that he lost. Because there's 3 rounds he can... Let me check the stats. There's 3 rounds he can win. I remember that always being the answer whenever someone said that Hendricks got robbed. There's 3 individual rounds within the damaging rounds that Hendricks did that might not be 10-8s. There's 3 rounds that GSP can win. Round 1, 19-18 on strikes, you know? And he had takedowns there as well. And by the way, when you watch back these fights now, when you see that split takedown, it doesn't mean anything to you. But back then, when you watch someone get a takedown, it was like a round changer. So that needs to be taken into consideration, how much takedowns were worth back then. So he does well in round 1. He doubles him in round 3, clearly wins round 3. And he might win round 5 as well because he over doubles him there. So I don't get the argument, man. He can nick round 1. He can take 3 and 5. And yeah, all good though, I guess. There was no knockdowns. I don't know. It's interesting. I've watched this fight so many times. GSP won 3 rounds. Solid. Yeah, I know. But, you know, it's interesting. Thank you for the $7. Travis Berg, I appreciate you, good sir. Do you think Jessica I loses against Joanne Calderwood? Women's $7. Women's fights. Women's fights. Do I think Jessica I loses? Women's fights. Let me look for my answer. I'll have an answer in a second. Let me find it. I need to give it heads or tails. I think it's $7, dude. I ain't answering. I'll go Jessica I. She wins. Joanne Calderwood's not that good. But, you know, it's all good. I need to give heads and tails. I keep forgetting to fucking do that shit. Every time I've used a coin joke, I forgot to give heads or tails beforehand. So fucking annoying. Thank you for the $7. I appreciate it very much, Travis Berg. Thank you so much, good sir. Yeah, I need to put Jessica I in the noose. Okay. Okay, dude. That's just not needed. Graphic content, is it? Let's be real. What's up, bro? You ready to have a proper bill? Yeah, mate. A proper bill. You should ask Miss Marshall Monkeys, Rakic's gym on YouTube. If you can interview Rakic, they're really cool. Check them out. No. I know what I'm doing. The interviews will come soon. But I know what interviews I want to do. I want to fucking get them. I want to get these interviews. But I don't want to do them in the way that I can do them now. And only can do them now. Thank you for the $1. Frank Martin, I appreciate that. Because if a guy does an interview, I've said this before. Thank you for the $1, dude. Appreciate that, Frank Martin. And $7 as well. I appreciate you as well, Mr. Krug. Or Travis Berg, sorry, not Krug. Berg. Thank you, Travis Berg, for the $7, good sir. However, I want to get an interview where they need to be on the show. They need to put up with me. I don't want to have an interview where I've got 12k subs and my videos get 1 or 2k views a time and they can just go, fuck this, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? I don't have to do this. You know what I mean? I want to get them. I want to start going after them. If they've had a robbery win in their career, I'm bringing it up as a robbery that it rightfully was. Okay? And I'm having arguments with them as well. You're big enough to have interviews? No. Not the kind of interviews I want. Not the kind of interviews I want. I want to get them angry. And I want to get them angry where they still got to stay on because they know it's good for their career. You know? My family is so autistic, I have to have been adopted. Okay. Maybe. Listen, it's a possibility. You seem to show some of the tendencies, but who knows? It's interesting stuff. Lol, nice. Thanks, dude. That won't happen. It will happen, though. It will happen. Hold on, I'm interviewing, brother. Yeah. I want to see your interviews. Yeah. I think that'll be good. First one, I might do like, I don't know. I might team up with Volkanovski. Like, I feel like they'd actually get the energy of it, you know? If I went on like a Volkanovski interview and said like, and the title of the video is not going to be MMA Guru interview with Alexander Volkanovski. It will be like telling Alexander Volkanovski the truth about his fight with Max Holloway. Then all the salty Holloway fans click on the video are like, wow, someone told him to his face that it was a robbery. And I'm going to be like, you fucking won. And then we're going to get hyped together about it, you know, because I feel like no interview has ever told him that he won that fight. Everyone's sort of been like, you know, have you heard the reaction to the announcement of you winning and all that stuff? But I want to get me and Volkanovski versus everyone, you know? Genius. It would be genius. It would be genius if I can get interviews like that. But yeah. Could Kevin Lee and Gregor Gillespie beat McGregor? And obviously the Darren Till one would be amazing if it eventually gets there, you know? Could Kevin Lee and McGregor Gillespie beat McGregor? No, they couldn't. They get starched. That will be joke, just like that decision. Okay. But even though it wasn't a joke. Second max fight should have been a draw at the very least. Ooh, you give it out 10-8 rounds? You fucking retard. Ooh, a draw. That's when you know they can't say, like when you, that's just, you know, either one of them won. You know what I mean? Like there's no 10-8s and there's no draw rounds. So that's how you know Volkanovski won. It could have been a draw. Yeah, of course, dude. That's your argument, I guess, that Holloway got a 10-8 rather than he won any of the last 3 rounds. Thank you for the $5. Travis Berg, I appreciate that, dude. Chiesa versus Magny, what do you think? Oh my god, easy. I've already answered this. Magny wins. Thank you for the $5, dude. Travis Berg, I appreciate it, dude. Magny wins the fight against Chiesa 100%, in my opinion. It's a good one as well. It's going to be competitive, but I feel like Chiesa is going to take his foot off the pedal in the later rounds once he hasn't finished Magny with his grappling, because as much as I like Chiesa, he hasn't really shown great finishing ability other than in his fight against Carlos Condit. I feel like if you can't submit Diego Sanchez on the ground, who's way smaller, you're not going to be able to submit the length and the size of a guy like Neil Magny, who's been through what he has in his career, so experienced. So I think that Chiesa is going to win the early grappling exchanges for the first 2 rounds. Then he's going to start to gas out a little bit, and then we'll see Magny start picking up the volume in the 3rd and then finish him in the 4th by TKO. And that's how it will go down. Magny wins 4th round TKO. Thank you for the $5, Travis Berg. Marlon Moraes impression. Don't show the messenger, man. Here is order. One fight. Alex the Great versus Ortega. Brian Ortega. So, yeah. I want to tell him that. That's what I want to do to fighters, because I think they'll respect it out of me. Imagine if it's what I want. I don't want to ask a fighter questions about how's the training camp, dude. Have you been training hard? Like every other fucking MMA interviewer does. I want to do stuff like, you're facing Brian Ortega next. I think he's going to whoop your ass. And I want to get them to argue with me. I want them to argue with my prediction of how the fight goes, not ask them who they think if they're going to win or not, because they're going to say yes. I want to give my prediction of they're going to lose, and I want to hear their argument back to me. That's what I want. And that will create the excitement, man. That'd be huge. And then eventually, like, I'll get punched at a press conference or backstage at a weigh-ins, and I'm viral, you know? That'd be good. I reckon I could take a shot. Especially if I know it's coming as well. If I get sucker punched, it'd be quite bad. But if a fighter sucker punches me, they'll be seen as the bad guys. But if I get like punched like when I'm in front of someone, I reckon I could take it. So I don't mind taking a punch. I'd come with like a gum shield or something, you know? Keep my teeth in at least. You'd shit it and not say it? No, but like, I know, listen, the dislikes would be bad though. They wouldn't, because you'd secretly love it. Even if they were disliked, you'd secretly love them. People would secretly love the interviews. Especially if the fighter took it well. If the fighter gets angry and we start raging, it'd be funny, and I'd try and make it funny, but I don't know. Constant wants the interim title against Rob, yeah. I could take a couple of punches as well, yeah. I mean, if you do it in an honest, straightforward way, they will respect you. Yeah. I want to say it through a smile, because I feel like there's an advantage to being from the UK, because there's something funny about saying stuff. I don't know why. But I think if someone with an American accent told someone that they're going to lose their next fight, they take it like offensively and go back at them. But there's something about a UK thing where it's a bit cheeky and they understand. You know what I mean? Like Masvidal was saying this when he went to London with Till. Like people were insulting him, but he took it. It was funny to them because he could see it the way they were saying it, you know? So who knows? So you'll be the opposite of the schmo. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll just get like, I'm the guy. I'm like basically I'm Charlie Zelenoff with a microphone, you know? But like, I'm not that bad at fighting. What's your reaction of casual saying Khabib would sell 2.2 million pay-per-view buys if it weren't in UAE? Khabib hasn't proved his pay-per-view star power in terms of pay-per-view buys. Yeah, but he's still, no. He hasn't, no, this is silly. He hasn't sold pay-per-view buys according to the buys that they released that America has sold. Okay? But the people that watch Khabib and follow him, he's the second biggest draw in the sport, 100%. So I think it's silly for you to say that. I understand that you're saying because of the pay-per-view buys, he's not the biggest star in that because other people have gotten more than him. But there's like, when you're doing stuff in different parts of the world, the numbers are different, you know. But I think Khabib would definitely sell like over 1 million in his fights, 100%. But yeah, he didn't against Gaethje, but that's just they don't buy pay-per-views the rest of the world like America does, you know. Different ways of watching it because it's so off-timed. They don't want to charge people to stay up until 6 a.m., you know. Because UK people have a decent sense of humor and usually ask questions in a less confrontational way. Yeah. Great idea, fat man. Thank you, dude. Tafa versus Felipe pick. I'm gonna go with Tafa. I like Tafa there, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to watch some fights again. I like Felipe, but I don't know. I feel like he's got cardio in the heavyweight division. He's got power as well. So I think you could do something to Felipe early, but who knows? We'll see. But I don't know, actually. Listen, when you see what Felipe did to Tafa, and then, no, sorry, when you see what Jorgen De Castro did to Tafa, and then what Felipe did to Jorgen De Castro, there's an argument to say that Felipe will just do the same thing to Tafa, but I'll look up some fights before I give an official answer on that one. Thank you. Johnny Walker versus Jimmy Crute. We're going to go Jimmy the fucking Crute. Jimmy fucking Crute. Jimmy Crute. I just want to mention this before I just want to mention this. No, it must have been. How am I? It was so important. How did I fucking forget that shit? Oh, Jimmy Crute. His tattoo. Yes, his tattoo. He has an earthbender tattoo. Adesanya moving up to light heavyweight. If we can get Jimmy Crute to the belt, that's such a... They could sell that to those fucking filthy weebs and they'd eat it right up. You kidding me? He's the earthbender. He has an earthbender tattoo on his chest. And he got it recently as well. I 100% believe that he got it to try and build a fight with Adesanya. An earthbender. An earthbender. Jimmy Crute is an earthbender. Sorry, I'll pronounce it correctly, good sir. Guru, if Yan KOs Gyno Sanya, where does that put him in amongst champs? Okay, you've given me a really badly worded sentence to read out in appropriate manner. Up there, he's definitely top 5 pound for pound if he beats Adesanya, for sure. How many subs until you do the interviews? I don't know, we'll see. It's going to be a heat thing. But, you know, we'll see once we get back into the fight world. And I need to move out as well because I need to be able to be loud and do interviews at whatever time of the day because I'm going to be interviewing people around the world. So I need to be able to, like, if necessary, and they can only do 2 a.m., I need to be up for 2 a.m. UK time. You know what I mean? I can't do that right now. So I definitely need to be situated in my own place first. But I reckon I'll be able to do it. But I don't know. I want to get a bit bigger first. You know what I'm saying? Take my time. I'm going to give you guys a long journey of content. I don't want to be the splash in the pan. I'm going to give you guys this period years where you're going to look back and go, that old guru when he did this kind of stuff and only this. And then and then I'm going to add in that after this bit. And then we're not going to rush things here. You know what I mean? I know people want to see me go crazy on the stuff, but eventually we'll get the whiteboards out and do stuff like that, you know? Bigger as in weight? Hopefully not. Hopefully fucking not, or I'll throw myself out a window. But no, I meant as in channel size, of course, good sir. Cyborg is the gender bender, of course. He is also the hormone bender, although those hormones always seem to bend in the direction of his left breast. Very strange. One punch KO power out of nowhere. All good. Crute is the earth bender and Adesanya is a bender. Okay, cool. Interesting. Guru, when are you going to start reaching out to fighters? You need to shut your mouth because I've just spoke about this for the last fucking 10 hours, mate. Shut up. Ooh. Jesus. Have you just got here, dude? Fuck. Conor has always been a small lightweight. He walks around at 170 max, and you have other lightweights who walk around close to 190, yet Conor doesn't have the appreciation for fighting what he weighs. Well, yeah, that would mean saying Irish man good, dude. Giving Conor McGregor compliments. Does he not know this is MMA? You fucking idiot. Anyway. Trainer coach of the year. I'm going to go with, I don't know. Sharp. It's going to take a huge donation to get your attention in the future. These are the golden days right now. Indeed. Indeed. This will be the members eventually, I feel like. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But I feel like the members will be this normal chat situation, you know? And then the donations would have to be the only way to stick out in the chat, which kind of would be AIDS, in my opinion. So maybe there'll have to be a time where I do start employing slow mode, because not enough people are in the chat right now to make use of slow mode, because it kind of just... You know, there's little enough people to where someone will ask the same question or will ask something different within a minute's time. So I don't want to imagine getting locked out of the chat after a minute every time. But eventually I will have to start doing that if people join more and more. So we'll see. Guru, you'll remember us from under 1K when you get big. Yeah, I'll try to. It's not an active choice to remember people. I hope you understand that. But ND209, I'll remember. I'll remember names. I always do. Especially if you're interesting, you know. Will Conor join the UFC? Conor Jr.? No, I don't think so. If he does, then McGregor's a bad parent. So let's not do that. But I reckon he'll probably have his son do boxing or something. Wouldn't be surprised, you know. Make a note of me, no problem, dude. Hard-hitting reporting. Stop coming up with excuses. You said the most autistic things a man could say and screamed when your parents were at home. No, that's on a weekend but that's when they know that I'm doing it. You know? So they know not to have family over, or like Saturday nights, like they don't have people over at night because they know I'm doing the fights. But like if I need to be able to just jump on regardless of what's happening. I don't need friends over from work and now this person's over to see this, and you know, like when the lockdown eases up, there's gonna be a lot of people fucking over in the middle of the fucking day, and I'm gonna be pissed off about it. So I need to get out first. Remember Manila Gorilla? ? Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, he used to have autistic things in the chat to say. I do actually remember Manila Gorilla, but I don't even think his first part was Manila. It might have been something else, but I do remember him. Yeah, I know the way I answered that originally made it seem like I didn't, but it made me think, and I do actually remember Magilla Gorilla. Magilla, though. I don't know if his first name was Magilla. You looking for live solo or with a roommate? Oh, live solo, I think. I don't know. The roommate thing seems to have died out a bit. So we're going to try and go solo, boys. Because if I move out with other people, it's just going to be the same thing. Same problems, I feel like, you know? So might have to go for an old solo mission, you know what I mean? Single player mode. I'm a bit of a single player kind of guy anyway, you know, so I think it'll work for me. Which fight for Fedor? I have no idea. Good. So, you think your parents would mind you doing interviews with MMA fighters on a growing MMA career? No. No, I just wouldn't want to do it with people that aren't my parents in the house. So if they have a friend over, I'm not doing this upstairs, man. It's embarrassing. You know what I mean? So, because much as, I don't know, people talk to each other, I don't like that. Because I end up, you know what I fucking hate about some things? I don't tell anyone about myself, and everyone fucking knows what I'm about. It's so fucking... Everyone talks to each other in this world, and I wish we could... Never mind. I'm going to start sounding like a Nazi, but everyone needs to stop talking to each other. It pisses me off. I'll, like, not have told anyone something, and then everyone will know that I've done it. It's so fucking annoying nowadays. Why can't I just... Whatever. It's all good. That Mojed guy made a cartoon making it seem like Edwards pulled out. Wow, I hate the MMA community. Yeah, I know, because he's a fucking Khabib nut rider, mate. And if he did it otherwise and had Hamzat pull out and do the whole crying thing, my finger was a balloon. He could easily, Mujahid Fudilat could easily do a video where Hamzat's finger's a balloon. But he won't do that. Or his lungs are a balloon, which they already are, to be fair. But you know what I mean? Guru, would you interview James L. Britton? Yes, indeed. So tell us about that plane you jumped out of last minute. Noah? You know? Prediction of pay-per-view number, Conor versus Poirier, 1.3 million. Thank you for the $1. Frank Martin, I appreciate you once more. Stipe, you can add a question to that as well, by the way, but all right then. Move out so you can pursue the life of a nonce. Lol, your dream. Okay, that's not my dream, and that's not my life that I want. I have to answer both of those segments of your question there to avoid agreeing to one half of it. But yes, I'm not a nonce, and that is not my dream. I just want to move out, man. I want to have a bit of freedom, you know? Just want to have my own place for a bit. Even though no one's making noise right now in my house, they're there. You know? And they're walking around. And they can listen. They could hear this. You know? That annoys me. I just want to be alone. I don't know. I don't know, it's freeing. You know what I mean? Imagine moving into a new house when it's all yours. I can see it all now, you know? Remember Magilla Gorilla? Yes. Now I do, because you've said it after the past 5 minutes, yeah. But I do remember. I remember a few names. I'll remember names, guys. Calm down. What's wrong if they can hear it? It's just, it adds something. You know what I mean? I'm going to go now, but I'll leave it on this comment. It adds something, you know? It just adds like I can't go down the route of talking about the women's flyweights in that kind of way if I know they're listening. Like, I can do this, but I can't. I like the freedom to know I can go off the leash and say anything I want, and it's not sound like my parents hearing it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll see you later. Thank you for watching the stream, and toodle pip. Don't move in with roomies, though. No, I won't. Toodle pip. Barboza should be on a 3-fight win streak. He is. Ige lost. Goodbye. Triple Pip. You start believing in Scotland Yard is spying on you 2 weeks after you moving alone, yeah. Scotland Yard, bruv. Get me like Dutch. See you, Guru. Keep up the awesome work. Thanks, dude. Pseudo Pip. Thank you for watching. Any videos dropping today? I might record one right now, but I'm not sure. So we'll see what we do. I'll leave this up. See you later. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. Thank you. MMA World makes bank. He just puts background music and training clips on Instagram. You deserve more views. Thanks, dude. But, you know, not everyone can add music to the background of news that everyone already knows. You know what I mean? So, Toodle Pip. Goodbye.